Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
And pricing, but it doesn't matter. Do you remember saying that?
Sure.
Nope, she doesn't. So it doesn't matter to me.
All right.
What the fuck?
You know what we should do? Oh, go ahead.
In mythology and literature, a were-woman or were-woman
That doesn't sound right.
is a woman who has taken the form of an animal through the process of lycanthropy. She-wolves.
Oh.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, wait. The female werewolf in werewolf stories is generally called she-wolves. A female werewolf who becomes a wife to an alpha male is called a Luna.
Oh. Huh. Oh, no.
Signs that you might be a werewolf. Okay. A unibrow may not be a clear indicator, but with the rest of this list, it could be a symptom. Hairy palms, more hair. Mismatched.
More hair?
Yeah.
Like just a lot of hair?
Just a lot of hair.
Okay.
Mismatched fingers, glowing eyes, abrasions on the arms and legs, unquenchable thirst, dry tongue and eyes, frequenting graveyards at night, and craving for raw meat. Oh my god.
Well, how did we get on that? Oh, because you said I was a wholesale wizard. Do you want to go over your line sheet on this?
Do you
No.
have?
Sheet sucks.
Hey Heidi, do you have your 10 things? 10 things to be happy about. Do you have it close by?
Yeah.
5 things to be. What is it? 5 things or 5 things to be happy about. I feel like we should start with that.
That's fine, because I told Becca I wanted to start doing it again.
Yeah, this will be your starting point.
Oh God. Okay. I have a confession. I record more than one, and then I post the funniest one. So this might not be very good.
The people are gonna know now.
Oh, cut that.
We're not
Okay.
cutting it.
You don't have to cut it. So what? What are you doing?
Okay, so you're just gonna but we're gonna do not the funniest ones because we're just gonna go 5, flat 5.
So funniest as in you flip to them and you choose randomly, but you look within that grouping of 3 or 4 that are funniest.
No. I think I was no.
It's more your reaction to what is said that is funny.
Yeah. Sometimes like I do them and I'm like, that was not funny. But when I'm doing it every day, I just did the first thing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. Yeah. So
I have that same book in my
that's
van.
probably why I stopped doing it because I got too picky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, I have that.
You just got to do it like once a week, and then just like the mug thing. Like I know not every
On
mug
Mondays.
is going to be the best. So like you just have the trends of like which ones are the best and which ones are kind of like average.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Okay, so you ready for the 5 things we happy about today?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's number 1?
All right, number 1. The suitcase that keeps going around and around the luggage carousel. Good one.
It is a good one.
Number 2. Butterscotch striped swimsuits. What the hell
are
that?
butterscotch striped? Does that mean it's like
brown and white?
Brown?
Oh, brown and brown.
Brown and brown.
Butterscotch is not normally like striped though.
Oh.
It's a solid color, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, that's questionable.
I actually tried to get the author of this book on Instagram with me, but she was like, no, thank you. She's like, okay, ready? 3. A strolling trio of musicians.
Okay. Depends on what kind of musicians.
Like, the Three Amigos?
Yes. Oh, my little buttercup has the perfect smile. What?
I don't know that song.
Sweet little buttercup.
What happened to Ryan's voice?
I don't know.
Where's
what
his sound? Oh, I don't know that.
Sometimes it cuts out because like it tells us like it's like, oh,
You're being
Ryan's
too loud.
talking or I'm talking.
Oh.
Doesn't let you talk at the same time.
Okay, sorry. Number 4. Oh my God, this is a long one. Screened porches, unscreened porches, glassed porches, unglassed porches, with old wicker chairs, pots of geraniums, bringing romance to summer.
Oh
I
my gosh.
I don't think that anybody in the South thinks that an unscreened porch is happy.
No.
Uh-uh.
I don't know.
Number 5.
Ready?
Yep. Interjections. That's perfect because you're here with me. You got to interject on all of these, right?
Oh, yeah.
Starting off strong, ending strong. The middle.
Eh, eh. And we're done. Bye.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, well, will you tell us who you are?
Sure. My name is Heidi Fahrenbacher, and I run Bella Joy Pottery in Plainwell, Michigan. Yay!
Hooray! What do you do? Do you throw or slip cast
I
or
slip
hand
cast.
build? Okay, good.
Is it all slip cast or is it like 90% slip cast or?
Oh,
Because you make some of your forms, the mugs and stuff. Are all the mugs slip cast too?
They are now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I throw for fun once in a while. I haven't this year. I've been busy.
Yeah.
I haven't thrown for fun at all this year.
Yeah.
I made a candlestick, but that was hand built. That was for fun.
Do people use candlesticks? I see people like making them sometimes. Like there's this guy here in Cincinnati that makes them, like candelabras and stuff, and I'm like, who's buying that?
I think so. I like candelabras.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't like candelabras?
I don't know what a candelabra is,
You
but
know, like a candle, like with that holds lots of candles.
oh,
Kind of like a chandelier that sits on a table.
I have like a unnatural fear of fire. So like
Becca blew my candle out today for me.
I know it seems ironic that I'm a potter, but I don't like fire that much. I think it's gonna burn everything down at some point. So like, I would never burn a candle that wasn't contained, like ever.
Like
Like,
where it's low enough below the rim that it's like
Yeah.
there's no risk of something.
Like I would never burn a candle, one of those candlesticks that like sticks out.
Oh,
Like,
really?
oh yeah, no, because what if it falls over? What if my cat
pick it
jumps over it? Like, my cat's got lit on fire before.
Buck has too. Because he's so fluffy and he'll walk by
Yeah.
the candle and then you're like, smells like singed hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, fire is not really a friend of mine.
Oh.
So
I mean, you using the electric kiln, you don't really need to use fire, so it's not like you have to interact with a live flame being in pottery.
Have you ever used a weed burner?
hell no.
Oh my God, those are so much fun.
A what?
A weed burner, it's like a flamethrower kind of.
Wow.
It's hooked up to like a little propane tank and then you like burn the
Is that
weeds.
what people use to like dry their really big pots with?
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
seen Adam Field before with like the
Yep.
really big. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Wow. Yeah, that's like a flamethrower torch or something.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah. I wouldn't be caught dead using one of those. I barely like the torches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is interesting because I feel like you're invincible.
What?
Yeah. Like you're not afraid of anything.
I'm afraid of a lot of things.
You are?
I'm just really
Do you
good at
wanna-
pretending.
Do you want
5 things to be afraid of today.
That's 5 things to be afraid of today.
That's where most of my anxiety comes from.
Oh.
Most of my anxiety through when I was in Washington was because I was sure my kiln was going to burn the buildings down
Oh. Yeah.
every day.
And now you don't have a building to burn down, and if you fire it, you can fire it outside.
Oh no, I do have a building to burn down. I have my studio in Indianapolis, even though I'm not there. I'm convinced that something's going to happen and it's going to burn down.
Even though you're not in there.
Not logical. I unplugged everything, but doesn't matter.
Give me a hug.
No, I need insurance, and thankfully I got it.
Yeah, you have insurance.
Got that off your to-do list.
I did. It was
Nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
I have a funny story,
Okay.
really quick. I called the insurance lady. Thankfully, Quincy, my friend, sent me his insurance person and emailed me, and then she emailed me her phone number, and she was like, call between any time. And so I called, and I get on the phone, and I'm calling, and she answers, and she goes, Mom?
What?
And I was like, no, this is Becca. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. My mom's trying to call me and she's 93.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, don't worry at all. I understand completely. Anyway, that was my short story.
So do you have to get certain insurance based, because you changed your residency technically, right? Do you have to get insurance based on where your physically like license says you're living or whatever? Or
It would be, I don't know the technical or like the legal term for that, but to me it makes sense that I would get Indiana state license, Indiana state insurance for a building in Indiana.
Right,
Yeah. Typically that's how it works.
okay, because your business residence is still the studio technically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of nice, that I can keep my business in Indiana, but my home address doesn't have to be in Indiana.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Because they'll probably ask that on your taxes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'll probably have to do taxes for Indiana and
Tennessee.
this year.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
so much fun. Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to pay my estimated income taxes this week.
Yeah, that's due on the 15th.
Here's a hot tip about estimated income taxes for all the small business owners out there.
Oh, I'm
Did
ready.
you know that? Oh my God, I don't think I should tell you this, because if it's wrong, I'm gonna feel like everyone's gonna be
Don't
like,
take this as legal advice.
I don't take this as legal advice, but I was told that you don't have to pay your estimated taxes until January 15th if you pay 90% of them then.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you've done that or have done that? Is
Sure,
it just because?
Well, sometimes you have more cash after Christmas.
Yeah, but you should be saving your...
I don't do it now. Don't do it that way now.
Do you know what I do?
But I have in the past.
Do you know what I do? Since all of my sales are through Square, I take a percentage out of all of my sales on Square, and I think it's like 20% on Square, and so I just pay my estimated taxes out of that.
Oh, you know what? I just lied to everyone. I save for taxes weekly, but I still don't pay them until January.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, why should the government have my money?
Right.
Yeah. So then do you meet with your tax person and they tell you how much you owe and then you just pay it by January 15th? So you get your taxes done before that date?
Yeah, because I do my accounting every Monday, like, of the following month. So I'm done with pretty much my taxes by, January. And since you only have to have 90%, last year I overpaid and I got a refund.
I'm going to overpay this year, I'm sure.
It usually works out.
Do you know what's really sad? We looked up how much money I've made this year. Do you want to guess how much money I've made this year?
You're talking about just straight revenue?
Yeah, from Square.
From selling pottery.
Selling pottery on Square.
And your Square includes your website and your shows and what? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Just those. The consults, are those on Square?
Yep.
Okay.
And I have some Etsy sales, but I'm sure they're much less than. There's probably like 1,500.
Yeah, that's not your Square. Oh. 23,000.
Wow.
I am.
You think really little of me.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. You made me think it was really a certain number. I'm just guessing. All right. Heidi, you already know the number, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I do, so I'm not gonna guess.
Yeah, but you were really fucking
We were
close.
really close.
It's 21,385.
Oh my gosh! What? I guessed over.
I know. Heidi was like, I thought you were paying yourself $800 a week.
That's what you told me.
I was, but not now. And I can't afford that.
Accurate though. I mean,
Are you still paying yourself weekly?
I'm trying to.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
because that would be 41,600 if you paid it every week, $800
Yeah.
for the year.
Yeah, definitely didn't do that in January.
This is a great intro to what we're going to talk about.
I know.
It is, so keep going.
Oh, well, and it's like, how the fuck am I like living off of $21,000 so far?
And it's September 11th today to give people context.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you anxious? Because I'm like my stomach's churning.
No.
Oh.
Did you know that number? Like, did you have an idea in your mind of kind of around where you were?
I thought I had so much more. Like, I thought I had sold so much more. To keep people in perspective, I'm not in debt. Like,
you're talking about your bills outside of just getting
like,
around.
the van is
What do we consider debt? What do you all?
She has a van payment. I would consider that.
I have a van payment. Other than that, I don't have any debt. Like, I pay off my credit card bill every single month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you count your cash through your Square?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
What cash sales?
Okay. Do you accept cash? No.
No.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking is if a person were not to claim their cash, that does help.
That's true.
You know, because then you have like grocery money and.
Yeah, it is nice grocery money for sure. If I had cash.
Yeah, if.
Big if. Definitely don't do that.
Don't do that.
Mm-mm. I only take cards.
Yeah.
No, sir, you cannot pay with a $20 bill.
Well, when you sell wholesale, you can't take cash.
That's true.
I guess you could, but it's harder.
Yeah.
More difficult.
Yeah.
Can you hear her?
I can hear her. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I can hear mumbles. You know what Becca told me? Becca told me I'm a slow talker.
You are.
Would you rather be a slow talker or a fast talker?
A slow talker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. You just are.
I guess I never thought about it until you.
Yeah, I think when you're a slow talker, I think you grab people's attention of like they really have to focus. If you're talking slower, because if you're fast, you're probably getting every other word or every third word. Like you got to get the gist of what they're saying, but you can't keep up. So it's just like perpetually catching up.
Also, I think it's a benefit because you always, like I told her, she always knows what she's going to say because you're thinking about the words that you're going to say.
Or I just can't think of a word.
That too, but I mean, what are you going to do?
Right. Okay.
Okay. What are we going to talk about today?
Wholesale.
Wholesale.
And pricing.
Yay. Heidi, okay, let's talk about how many wholesale accounts you have.
I don't know.
A lot. It's a lot.
What's a lot? Like in the tens? Are we talking 50 plus? Are we talking 100 plus?
No. I think right now it's between 40 and 50.
That's a lot.
Okay.
I think the last time we talked to you.
You know what? That might be a lot because they're all new. Because last year I switched everything, and so I had those are all in 1 year. That was a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Now that I'm like.
Last year we talked to you, or the last time we talked to you, I think you had like, maybe it was like a long time ago. You had like 160.
I might have had 100, yeah.
Or 100 or something, which I felt was ridiculously a lot.
40 to 50. Okay.
Yeah, right now.
Who like what kind of businesses are the wholesalers? Are they like boutique shops? Are they flower shops or
Yeah.
all the above?
Yes, all the above. Galleries, gift shops, a lot more plant shops, florists. I have a lot of florists lately.
Oh, because of your big vases.
Yeah, because of my vases.
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to sell a lot more to coffee shops, but then I raised the price of my mugs and I don't do them as much, which actually is okay because handles.
Right.
So
Tell them about how did you get your accounts?
how do I get my wholesale account?
Yeah.
I think we should start do you want a wholesale?
Yeah. Do you want a wholesale?
Yeah, maybe what started you in wholesale?
Someone asked if they could buy my pots at wholesale, and I was, gosh, it was back in 2008, and I was like, sure. Oof.
Wow, 2008. That's
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And looking back, I'm like, man, I did not make any money on those pots.
Yeah.
It's like the $15 platter, right?
Oh, God.
Were you still wheel throwing them at that time?
I was, yeah. Yep. And then I did my first wholesale show in 2011, and it was the LA gift show. I don't even know if it's still around, and it was awful. It was so bad. Because if you're gonna do a wholesale show, you need to be really selective, especially if you're selling handmade goods.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't have a good handmade section, it's going to be a waste of your time and money.
You need to be selective in the shows you pick or selective in the forms you take? Okay.
The shows you pick, yeah.
What other things are people wholesaling at those shows that is not handmade?
Everything.
Oh, man, everything.
Lots of cards. Lots of signs.
Yeah, lots of signs.
Jewelry. Rugs. Benches.
Clothes. Like everything.
Everything.
If you go into like a boutique and all that's wholesale, leather handbags. Everything.
So are those clients, or not the clients, are the sellers at those shows that are selling all that stuff that doesn't really fit with handmade, are they just buying it wholesale and then they're reselling it wholesale to somebody else? Probably.
They could be, but it's like big companies like
Barnes and Noble and Spencer's and Andrew got his Spencer's deal at the wholesale show.
No, I'm saying the other peers of yours at the show, like
Jonathan Adler. Do you know Jonathan Adler? That's okay. He started off, I'm sure, like handmade ceramics, and he made like these jars that were. They were like black and white stripes, and they said like Prozac and like different kind. They were like tongue in cheek kind of things. And they're not handmade anymore, but like he's a really big name in like interior design, like home decor. So people like that, like Martha Stewart, her whole company, she would wholesale all that. The things are manufactured under her brand name.
Ray Dunn.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it would just be like big corporations that are going to those kind of shows to shop and getting some volume.
But also small boutique shops that want to have like let's say you have a Las Vegas wholesale show and there's and you're a gift shop in I don't know Arizona somewhere, like in Phoenix, Arizona, then you would go to that show and look for stuff to buy. And you could place your wholesale order at the show, or you could get their information and come back, collect your thoughts, and then place it.
So is the main drawback of being in a show that's not the right audience and peers of yours around you is that they don't really understand the handmade nature and they don't really timelines and scale and volume. It's not really
yes, all of that. Yeah.
And pricing, I would think, is probably
yeah. And since I don't know how much they are anymore, but
they're.
I think when I was doing them, they're like seven. Like the booth fee range from like $4,500 to $7,000.
Yeah, Andrew just paid $8,000 for, collectively, he paid $8,000, I think, for a 20 by 5 space.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked with Andrew Bigler about that when he was on few episodes back.
I wasn't listening. They were talking. I was making stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember exactly what
we talked about some of the shows that he does in the scale, but so then did you do shows for a while? You just found better ones, or?
I did wholesale shows for 5 years.
Okay.
That was enough. Well, because once you start getting, clients and that, you don't necessarily need to keep going every year.
Yeah, it's to get that like base set of wholesale clients once you decide like, hey, this is a good business opportunity, or were you just like, was it you didn't know who to sell your stuff to that early on?
Yeah, but yes, and so, but when I like that first show I did in LA, that was an awful show, and then the next year I did a show in Philadelphia called The Buyers. It's not around anymore. It was called The Buyers Market of American Craft, and that was a good show because that was all handmade.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and so like I did really well at that show. Like I think I ordered like $12,000 worth of orders, so that was good. And then I did
That's half my yearly income. Sorry.
So far.
And then I did like the ACC shows, the American Craft Council in Baltimore. I think they still have it, the wholesale show. And then I did New York Now, and that was huge.
That's a huge show.
That's a huge show.
Yeah.
Huge.
So you're typically walking away from that with a list of clients and orders, and then you just go back and fulfill them.
Yeah.
And just deliver, ship out, handle all that communication, and just kind of go from there. And that sustains you for what, like 3-4 months?
Yeah, or more. And then around the time, somewhere in there between like I don't remember exactly. It was probably like 2012. Etsy started Etsy Wholesale.
God, that was so great.
It was. And so then, like, another reason I didn't have to do shows anymore is because of Etsy Wholesale. Like, it was just really easy to get wholesale clients that way. I don't know why.
That would be like a fair competitor today?
Yeah.
Fair? Okay.
Yeah, it was like fair.
But what was so great about it was that, like...
Did you use it, Becca?
Yeah, I did. And, like, what was so great about it is that, like, people could just find you. It wasn't, like, fair. Like, you could just, like, be perusing Etsy and then, like, be like, oh, they sell wholesale. Yeah.
So it's just kind of an extension to your existing shop. There's a wholesale interface that they could order from?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that still a thing anymore, or it's just kind of built into like made to order if you want to order something?
Yeah, because they used to have, what was it called? They used to have like, they would invite makers to their to Etsy headquarters for a competition, because I went one year. Yeah, I went to Etsy. They're pretty cool. Etsy has changed so much since it started, but it was cool to go to their headquarters. And then like I got an honorable mention, and then Whole Foods was carrying my pottery for a while, and that was through Etsy Wholesale. So that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Mm-hmm. And then so there's all kinds of different online wholesale platforms, and they come and go, and some are better than others. Some are easier to use than others.
What makes the features of them, like what features are important as in like ease of use for you?
Or
for the other side of it, as a buyer, it's easier, and then that just helps you out too.
That's a really good question, Ryan. I can't speak to the buyer side, but they must correlate, because like, if it's easy to use, like you can upload your images easily, and then like I think it really helps to have, they have this on Etsy too, and Shopify, where you can, I don't know what other online platforms, where you can like put the color swatch in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like for me, because a lot of my things are so colorful, that is really nice.
Associating an image with like a drop-down list of options kind of thing.
Yeah. So like if you select the color, the image changes.
Yeah.
Color. Yeah. That's a nice
Yeah,
one.
I would guess with wholesale, there's just like, a matrix of different forms with a color, and maybe it's a listing per item or something, and there's like, sizes or colors, and you got kind of a cross section of like how many of each thing do you want, or
Right. And some people I know, they list like, so if you have like a mug in 5 colors, I just list mug and then you can select the color, but some people will list each mug in that color as like as a unique listing. I don't think it really matters, but
I think it seems more simple to do it your way.
yeah, like why make more work for yourself?
one form with a descriptive part of it just being the color, and that's it.
Yeah. So,
Because from what
I feel like a wizard.
From what Andrew was talking about, he was saying the benefit of fair nowadays is that the buyer gets, like, you will get paid regardless, and the buyer has like a little bit of a money back guarantee sort of thing if there's issues or refund policy, and there's a little more like financial security there for the buyer and the seller.
Right.
It makes it a little bit easier of a transaction.
Yeah. So like when I would do wholesale, that it wasn't through Fair or another online platform, I wouldn't ship the order until they paid. And I used to do like the first order that way, and then I'd say the second order you could have net 30, but I got screwed too many times. So now it's like your third order, I'll give you net 30. Like you have to show me that you're actually going to pay.
How were you getting screwed? Like they just went silent after it arrived?
Yeah. Or they would be, their bill was, and not everyone, but like, when you're self-employed and like your check's 10 days late, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Especially when you've already given them 30 days. So now it's 40 days, and that's irritating.
And it's not a small order. It's probably at least a few $100s.
Yeah, right. And it's like, okay, great. Now you're late. Now I'm going to be late with my bills. And so.
And they're already getting a significant discount on them being wholesale. So.
Right.
I feel like you're begging for pennies out here. You're like, give me something, please.
Yeah. I mean, and I'd like call every day, like, where's the money? Where's the money?
Hi, this is Heidi's collection agency.
I hate this.
Did you send somebody to like break bones or something, or what? Like,
shut up.
Send Bobby.
Yeah.
If Bobby showed up at my door doing collections, I'd be like, I'm sorry, what? Bobby is Heidi's brother.
I'm here to collect for Bella Joy Pottery.
Yeah.
So, was there any correlation with those businesses that wouldn't pay you, that they would end up closing at some point because they just couldn't keep up with other bills that are not just you?
That's another good question. I don't have the answer to that.
Did they reorder in the future after that, or you're just like, well, lesson learned. I'm done with this person.
Yeah, I kind of quit them. Yeah.
You're looking at Becca like you're like, maybe.
I feel like the older I got, the more I was like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I would have people on, this is not wholesale related, but like on my mailing list that were just kind of difficult. And so I would just unsubscribe them. I was like, I don't need this. Unsubscribe.
You will be like, sorry, I'm not getting your emails anymore. What's going on? And then you're just like, oh, I don't know. It should be coming. And
it's like
check your spam.
On social media, I would just be like, unsubscribe them.
Yeah.
Never willingly unsubscribe somebody.
Yeah.
Usually it's crickets from email lists on my side, but
give it time.
Give it time.
Give it time. So how are you? So you were doing net 30, doing all that. How were you accepting? Like, nowadays with Square, like I use Square, they take their fees. They have fees for using, the bank transfer. They have fees for using a credit card. Do you use Square or QuickBooks or something? How do you handle like invoicing now?
Now I just invoice. You can do it on Shopify, but it's not super. I don't think it's very well. If you have like a separate wholesale page set up, you can do it. But if you don't, it's kind of a pain in the butt because it tries to pull from your inventory.
Oh.
And so I just use Wave.
Wave. I've heard of that. That's like an accounting software sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I just use that and invoice them through that, and then I don't have a problem with people paying me that way.
Does it take fees for credit cards, or they have to pay with a check, or how?
Yeah, it's comparable to Square, Shopify, or all those. And then you can actually set it up to, like, if it's net 30, it will send them a reminder. You can give them like a reminder, a couple days before, day before, and then.
Nice. Okay. Do you have? Because most people, I just have them send me a check if they can. That way, I avoid any fees. Because you're already giving them a 50% discount.
Right.
But otherwise, it's like I can add. I was considering like, do I add a 3% fee for them to use a credit card because
right.
I'm already gonna.
That's illegal. Some states that's illegal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole thing where they're like, you have to spend $5 to use a credit card.
Bullshit.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's illegal.
But
I think it is illegal. It should be. Yeah, it should be.
It should be.
So right now, I think I turned off.
Garlic clove once at the farmer's market. It was like a $4 garlic clove, just so I could use a debit card.
Minimum.
Yeah, I'm like, you're paying the same.
Yeah.
You're actually paying more fees.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they pay per transaction. It's like 30 cents a transaction. So maybe that's where they're like. I mean, they're still paying a percentage though. So.
What's doing business?
Yeah. Fuck you. Not you, Ryan.
Yeah, no. Ryan, sometimes people sent me checks, but not.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah, I just do the ACH bank transfer, which is 1% fee with Square, or I have them mail me a check.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So I pay at most 1% fee. Most of the people are sending me checks, but if they're remote, they'll usually just pay on the bank transfer. Okay, so right now you're 40 to 50 clients, but you were saying like most of those this year are like new.
Yeah, because let's see, the beginning of 2022, I discontinued my decal line, and then I came up with the Brighter Days collection, which was different clay, different glazes, like completely new. And so the price points were different, and so my whole customer base shifted. So they're all new.
Okay. Did you still offer it like, hey, I'm discontinuing this just to let you know, and also here's my new line of stuff. If you'd like to order, here's the new line sheet. Is that kind of how or did you just say, when they reached out, you just say, here's what I got? So
Ryan, what you are suggesting is so thoughtful and kind, and I did not do that. And because I was so.
How much of the wholesale business is your business? I guess maybe that's a good barometer of what's worth doing and what's not worth doing.
It's like 40%.
Okay.
So it's significant, but the thing was, the decal line was priced so incorrectly that it wasn't. I didn't even want to be like, oh, last chance, because it was like, I'm not gonna make any money off of it.
No, I didn't mean last chance. I meant like, hey, this is going away.
Oh, yes.
Here is my new stuff. If you'd like to order, here's what will be available.
Yes, I reached out to all my old contacts.
Oh, okay.
And
what'd you get? Like
crickets?
20% back? No, cricket? Like 0% of them?
Yeah, 0%.
Really? Not even one?
People don't like price increases.
So if you're at 40, 50 this year, what would have been like last year? With that, you said the decal line was 2022. So how many clients were you having last year before that line discontinued?
It was probably down to 60.
Okay, that's still
Because
good.
I'm not always the best at business, or I haven't been in the past, where like if I don't want to do something, instead of like putting on my big girl pants and dealing with it, I'm just like, well, I'll just ignore this and it'll go away, which is not a good thing. And so that's kind of what I was doing with wholesale with the decal line. I was like, I will just stop promoting it and it'll go away.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
So yeah. When they expect to just reorder and you're gonna have the same thing you always had at the same price you've always had, then
Yeah. And I was like, if I don't reach out to wholesalers, I won't have to do wholesale. I don't.
So did it hit you financially when you were starting the new line, or were you just kind of like, hey, it'll work itself out?
No, because in retrospect, I probably should have.
Make you feel bad here. I'm just asking.
No, it's not. No. I don't always make good choices. I probably should have like redone like one piece at a time strategically. But like I was so burned out and so over it that I was like, I'm just going to create a whole new line.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while. It takes a while to create a whole new line, especially when you're doing like mold making and slip casting.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because you have to make all your prototypes and your mother molds and then your working molds. And
so you might have like got rid of all your mugs or something first.
Yes.
And then you introduced a new mug. Here's the new mug.
Yes.
And then introduce the bases and replace, like, okay.
Yeah. Anyone listening, do that instead.
Did you also have technical issues going into the new line of work that you didn't have with the old line of work?
I did. I had a lot. So in the fall of what is this year?
2023.
Okay. In the fall of 2021, I was like, I want to start switching over. And then I got a concussion. I don't know if you've ever had a concussion. Have you ever had a concussion?
I haven't, but I heard your story about the concussion yesterday.
What did I tell you?
About the boat?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That margarita was stronger than I thought. Anyway, when I got my concussion, it was like I couldn't think. Like for weeks, my brain was just like, whoop. And I had started doing the new line, and then I fell in like the end of September, early October, and like I had to stop working on it because Christmas was coming, right? So I had to so then when I finally got back to it early last year, it was like I had completely forgotten how to make molds. Mm-hmm. Like I started using the wrong, like I was using plastic. A lot of times I make my prototypes out of hydrocal because it's like it's a more dense plaster. And I started making them out of plaster. And when I was trying to make my working molds off of the prototypes, I kept breaking everything. It was such a shit show. And I didn't know what was going on. I seriously, it was like my brain died.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Maybe I've had a concussion.
Maybe. Or you're just burned out.
That could be it.
If you read like the signs of burnout and concussion, you're like, So anyway. Yes, I did have a financial hit, but I had savings, so I was okay.
Okay.
I was still selling a little, just not,
So how did you get the new set of clients? Was that mostly through social media reaching out or mailing list, or do you have wholesale clients on your mailing list?
So I reached out to all my old contacts, like I said, and I didn't have any bites. And then I went and found other people who wholesale.
Peers of yours?
Peers, yes. Peers, not even necessarily potters, but people who make things that are like the similar aesthetic to mine that I was making. And I would see who they were selling their pieces to, and then I would reach out to them.
Okay. So just a lot of like cold emails and just gauging interest.
Yeah. And then I make twice a year, I do postcard mailings.
Huh?
So like I have a new line coming out.
Yeah, so it looks like it's a set of plates.
Yeah, like this hasn't launched
very nice draft.
Retail yet, but this is.
And what's on the other side?
Oh.
Is it secret?
No, it's not a secret.
Okay, so Talks about stuff from Michigan, Heidi Fahrenbacher. It's a new collection. Scan the QR code, entering some code.
Yeah.
Request a line. So that goes to what, your wholesale page?
So that goes to my website, the QR code. And then if they don't want to do that, they can go through Fair. Or they can request a line sheet. And I'll tell you something, I actually don't make a line sheet until someone asks for it, because so few people ask for line sheets anymore that I don't come until someone asks.
So you have a physical addresses of just your wholesale clients?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I send out like different.
So how would you, for anybody out there that has not reached out to,
Different.
that one's pretty.
Who's that one?
Is that one so that was the one from 2022?
Yeah, and then this is the other one.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Do you have a photographer do that, or do you do it?
No, I do it.
No, it's pretty.
I love taking pictures.
I'm
getting a lot of side eye here.
Yeah, she is like using you for that side eye.
Here you go, jerk.
Do you this might be too technical, but can you gauge how many people actually scan the QR code?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably, maybe. I don't think, you know what? I don't think my Shopify analytics are that up to date, because I don't have like the super fancy Shopify plan.
Oh, okay.
If you had the super fancy Shopify plan, you could.
Probably.
Somebody from work today showed me a QR generator, and I think it was like they kept getting the trial version, but there's a thing that you can set up like what the link goes to, and then it'll show you how many clicks or how many scans it has.
Oh.
It basically goes to this central like server or whatever that this company hosts, and then they redirect it to whatever link you want. And you can actually change the link after the fact if you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that is cool.
So it's the same QR code, but they change it. You can change it, and it'll gauge how many clicks. But I would guess Shopify, let's say you use bellajoypottery.com / usually you'd put some extra stuff at the end of the URL, and it would track it for you.
Right.
I don't know if Shopify has that, but...
What was it called?
I want to say it was called QR Code Generator.
And that's a paid feature?
So they were using the 14-day free trial, and they were just using like a bunch of email addresses, but you could probably, I'm sure you could like pay for it to do it or whatever, but
I always just do a QR code and then take a screenshot of it. Like, you know how they always want to make you pay for the QR code?
That was free.
Oh.
Yeah, but doesn't the QR code, the QR codes go to, I don't know, it depends on how the QR code works. Like, it could go directly to their website, and then it redirects you to something else.
Oh, no, I tried it. It goes right to my website.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's, like, free ones out there that you can just do that don't have any extra features. But, yeah, you would...
No, you didn't.
Okay.
But, yeah, you could probably come up with, like, a unique URL for your website, and it would track it on Shopify, I would think.
Oh.
That's
unique, because that has a unique URL, because it's its own separate page. It's not just to like my website, it's just to the wholesale password protected portion.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure that you could see how many people would like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. If nobody's just stumbling upon that, then yeah, that's a good gauge.
Ryan, that's a great idea. I didn't even think to look at that, so I'm going to write that down for tomorrow.
I don't know. I mean, that'll give you something. It'll just be like, all right, how many did I send? And then how many people actually clicked on it? And then you can, like, I don't know.
Well, you know, and then I was thinking about, like, my conversion rate on wholesale.
Can we talk about what you talked to me about colors?
Yeah.
And things?
That's why I wanted to know if you wanted to go over your line sheet on this.
I guess we could, but it's not, I don't really have a line sheet. I kind of do, but...
Okay, that's fine.
One last question before.
Oh, yeah. Ask
when you're cold emailing people, because I got a feeling people are going to be doing this, when they're nervous to reach out to clients and stuff, what are you what are you saying, and are you attaching something? Are you just introducing yourself? Like, what are you doing? What is your pitch to them?
Oh, I'll read it to you.
Because I feel like that can be
It's not.
just, you just hit a wall. You're like, I don't know what I want to say. Because you don't want to, like, brag about yourself, but you want to be confident, but you don't want to, like, underpromise or, overpromise or whatever,
Right. I have different drafts saved. One is for, like, current stockists. One is for potential clients. One is a postcard follow-up. So I just send these periodically throughout the year. So, like, if it's just a cold email, a potential client, I just say, subject line, colorful, fun pottery, handmade in Michigan. And then I say, hello, insert the owner's name, right? My name is Heidi Fahrenbacher, and I am the artist behind Bella Joy Pottery, which is handcrafted in Michigan. I am reaching out to see if you would be interested in carrying my pottery in your store. I make ceramics with vibrant colors and bold patterns that make you feel like you're going to a beach party that is going to go well into the night.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. My latest line, this is for the Brighter Days. My latest line, the Brighter Days, was created with the intention of looking forward to the future. After the chaos of the past 3 years, I am making an effort in creating more beautiful days ahead. And then I say, you can see the collection and that is the QR code. And then I also say, if a line sheet is more convenient, reply to this email and I will send you a PDF. Again, I don't make a line sheet unless they ask, because it's a lot of work and nobody really asks anymore. And then I say, I also have a fair shop. And then with fair, you get your own direct link. And if they use the direct link, it's 0%.
Do you tell them that in that email?
Yeah, well, the thing is, if they don't click on the direct link, you can go back in later and send Fair this email that you sent them, and they'll change it to 0%.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I just say, if you have any other questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay. So no imagery in that email at all. It's just text, and then they can go.
Images.
What'd you say?
Don't send images. Send links to images, but don't send, unless, like, sometimes stores have, like, artist submission pages for wholesale, and they will ask you to send images. That's the only time I do.
Okay. So you're relying on them. It's an old cold email. They don't know what they're expecting anyways. And then if they're interested, they'll just click on your wholesale page, and they'll be showered with plenty of bright colored pots and whatever's on there.
Then they want to go to a beach party. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really kind of, I think sometimes, I know that I used to overthink it a lot, and now it's just like, just get it out there.
Is that page, you said it's password protected, so it's not publicly accessible that other potters that are listening to this could see it. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Could they reach out to you if they wanted to see it?
Yeah, you know what? It's the same. If you go to my website and look at the Brighter Days collection, it's the same thing. It's just the prices are in half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll link to that, and people can look at that and just see kind of like what you're showing people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Want to do your one? Your thing?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
How do we start?
So the other day you were asking me.
Oh, the other day I was talking to Heidi about what I should put on Fair, because I'm struggling to have any carrying bone in my body, and that's fair. And we were talking about what I offer as far as, like, my earrings are concerned. And to give a brief rundown, I have, like, what I would take to a show. I have small, medium, large in my hoops, and a small, medium, large in my sticks of hanging earrings, like dangle earrings. And then I have studs, and I have 18 colors of studs. Hey, now.
She's side-eyed the opposite way.
I have 18 colors of studs, and I have 13 colors for my regular earrings that I dip in. And so now.
Did you say the hoops too? Did you say that?
Yeah, 3
Okay.
different sizes, and then I have 12 different colors.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's
because
all
I
in
like-
your fair store right now.
what?
That's all available in your fair right now.
No.
Oh, you're just saying that's what you have available that you can sell.
Like at a show, that's what I would take.
Gotcha.
Right. And for like the studs, people just like pick through. I have them on cards. And so we were talking about what I should have on my fair. And so Heidi suggested.
I'm not shaming you either, by the way.
I know.
Okay, because it's all a process. Because I used to offer like 13 colors
Yeah.
and like 40 different illustrations.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is insane. And then I kept adding. I'm like, they need more. They need more.
I need to work on my studs anyway because I think does super glue expire?
I don't know.
I
Does
should
it get
look that up.
soft when it gets hot?
I don't know. I've had like 4 people where their earrings have like come off the backs.
So this is what I told Becca. Becca has 3 different studs. Tell me the millimeter sizes again, please.
Oh, they're 3 different sizes. Really small, medium, and larger.
Right. And so I said,
Just in studs?
yeah. And they're very close. They're pretty close in size.
Yeah, they're pretty close in size.
So I suggested picking the most popular size and just wholesaling that. Because the point of wholesale is quick and easy money.
For you and for them, correct?
Yeah.
Like they want to know that
Oh, it does? Maybe that one. Yeah, it's right. For
they
both.
want to know that what they're buying is going to be popular enough. They're not just shopping for their aesthetic at the shop. They're like, they want to know what's going to sell.
Right. And so I suggested just paring it down to 1 size stud.
Right.
And then you said you had 18 colors?
Yeah.
I suggested a lot less, but we
Like
compromised.
6?
Yeah, I said 5, but we compromised on 12.
No, I didn't.
I thought you were going to.
No, you said that I had said I had 12 colors for my regular earrings, and
Yeah.
you said that was a good number.
Yeah, that's good.
And then you said we could do. We probably need to do 8 because we could do 1 of every color of the rainbow, and then black and white.
Yes.
Yeah, for the studs.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so 8 colors for studs,
Right.
and we could probably do 8 colors for the earrings too, black, white, and then.
Yes. And then we talked about the hoops, remember?
Oh yeah, and then the hoops. She said, don't have different sizes.
What are
Just-
the earrings different than hoops? What's it? Sticks? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the
The
sticks.
hoops are like this.
The
Oh,
sticks
the
are.
hoops. But you said hoops, studs, and then you said the word earrings. But what's different,
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
sorry. Okay, hoops are dangle earrings,
right?
and sticks are dangle earrings, and then studs are not. Okay,
Right.
so we said, and I have 3 different sizes of the hoops. So we said that the best would probably be to just take the medium size and only do the medium size.
Because you said those are the most popular, right?
Yeah, those are the small ones.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for the sticks, those are more popular regardless. So we said to do.
Are sticks most popular of sticks, hoops, and studs?
Yeah.
And then do you remember what else you were going to do?
No.
That's okay. We
Same
talked
color?
about.
I don't think I should have the long sticks on wholesale because they break too much.
Then don't. Then there. Yep. Don't get rid of. Nope.
I mean, the
Wholesale.
hoops break too. That's the problem. Like, they're fragile.
Well, you know what you could do? Just do the studs, and then remember we talked about doing the stick on a stud,
Oh, yeah. Stick studs.
because those are really popular right now, right? They're like little sticks. Like imagine a little like
It looks
stick.
like a little like rectangle piece of gum or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a chiclet as a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Those would be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you just have the same color options across all the different ones that you have?
Well, you can't have the same color options for studs and dangles because they're two completely different glazes.
Is that going to be hard to explain to a wholesaler because they're going to expect to get
2 different glazes?
Well, the studs are stroke and coat and the sticks are underglaze.
Okay.
The dangles are underglaze and the studs are stroke.
Okay, can we make them all one? That would be easier.
That would be a matte versus a glossy, right?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Not really.
Would you would you recommend leaving something off that it like because they're not going to understand that, right? They're going to expect to get the same colors. What if you didn't do studs?
Hey now.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, what if you just stick with the underglaze colors? Or what's the most reliable
Yeah.
for you to make?
I guess.
Remember, you don't have to discontinue it for retail. You just want the easy stuff for wholesale.
The studs are the easiest.
The studs, the round ones?
Yeah.
Okay, and then if you made like the sticks, we're going to call them stick studs. If you made stick studs, would you stroke and coat those?
No. I'd probably. Oh.
So what if you just underglazed everything and just kept all the colors the same across every form?
I mean, I could do underglaze on the studs, but nobody likes a matte stud.
Is that proven? Have you sold both?
I have sold both. They don't, and the matte studs change. They because they're in your ears all the time. They change colors because of the oils in your hair.
Oh, okay.
Now I could do clear on top of the underglaze, I guess.
Yeah, that's another step, though, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to decide this right now. I just want you to start thinking about like what would be easier and streamlined for your wholesale line.
Yeah.
You know, like Ryan said, it's half price anyway, so you gotta whip it out. Like I feel like wholesale is like the non-emotional part of the business.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like
You just need the hours to make it and just get it done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are times I'm like, I'm gonna quit. Like the other day, remember I told you I was gonna quit wholesale? I think today and every day since you've been here, but but sometimes you just need that repetitive. I need that. Like sometimes I just don't want to think, and I just want to make and get it done and out the door.
Yeah.
So I think, because remember we also talked about you have been using 2 different colors of clay, and I suggested just using one color.
Right.
Because just to make it easier, and then if you want to introduce another color clay, you can in the spring.
With like all new colors, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think it's important to remember, like, I think with wholesale, and even I did this, I was like, I have to show all my cards at once. And it's like, no, actually, you don't want to. You want to, get people intrigued with, 5 things. And then the next
you're really good at, you're really confident with, deliver on.
Yeah.
What if I just matched the stroke and coats to the underglaze color? You know, made them really similar.
Yeah. And
then you could just be like,
and
orange.
You call them the same name?
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Is it repeatable? Like if you got an order for 50 studs in March and you got an order in July, do you think you could repeat it and it would look like what your picture is?
Yeah. Like it would be basically you have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple.
Right.
In underglaze, and then you match the closest stroke and coat to that.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't do stroke and coats on the, I mean, I could do stroke and coats on my earrings, but I don't hang them. I just pile them in.
Oh, right.
Because they're underglaze.
Right.
Even though some of them have sheen.
That could be another podcast episode. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel good. Yeah.
Then you're on the right track.
Yeah. I just have to, I didn't realize, can I just pause for a second
Yeah.
and say that, like, recently I've been having all of these. So my earrings, my studs have been like fucking solid. And for like the last, since for the last year probably. And I recently have been getting like a lot of people saying like, hey, the back came off of my studs.
Mm.
And it's because I just looked it up and super glue fucking expires.
Mm.
The shelf life expires for super glue. So anyway, if you're ever doing like anything with super glue or regular glue, you should probably check to see if it expires. Because I bet that
the
6,000
ceramic
years old
pops.
isn't good anymore. What?
So the ceramic's just popping off of the metal,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What do I do?"
Yeah.
So
And I
what
mean,
do
I'm going to ship them a new pair. It's not an issue. And honestly,
have you
shows,
changed?
I am extremely vulnerable about it. Like, I'm like, hey, these are glued on. If they pop off, just shoot me an email. I'll send you a new one. You know? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, these are invincible. I'm like, hey,
Right.
I'm using regular fucking glue. Like, there's no other option. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So have you changed the glue material since you found that out?
I just found it out.
Okay. Are you gonna change
I
glues?
didn't go to the store in the last 2 minutes, Ryan.
She
No,
just.
I didn't know you just
well-
found it out. I'm saying since the customers reached out and they said it popped off, like it sounds like it's been repeatable, right?
Yeah, but I haven't made any since.
Oh,
So.
okay.
And like I put them in water this last time and like roughed them up and like moved them through my hands so that anything that was broken came off. But yeah, it's been an issue. It's just like a
I mean, it's probably one of those things that, like, you know, some people are going to use them very regularly and they're going to run into that issue, and then a lot of people are just going to wear them once every few months and they're never going to run into
the ones that are in my ears, I've had them in my ears for 6 months. So like, you know, I've tested them with just the super glue that like was obviously good.
Right.
And now so that's a really interesting thing that just happened.
2 epiphanies.
2 epiphanies.
Wholesale and glue.
Yeah, so should I also sell the fidget stones wholesale? Those things I gave to
My niece.
Molly.
things.
Yeah, I know. I know what you. Why don't you turn those into earrings?
They're heavy.
But they'd be really cute earrings.
Thanks, Ryan.
But they'd be really cute earrings.
Oh, I know. You're right, they would.
But maybe they're too time consuming.
So they can't be earrings because unless I could put a hole through them. Yeah, because normally I would put metal on
Make
them.
a stud.
Oh my fucking goodness.
Just make them.
All right, we're gonna make Ryan clip-ons.
Yes, we are. Ryan would look so fucking cute with gauges, like big gauges.
No. I do have like dangly earlobes.
You have good earring lobes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like playing with my hair. I'm like, oh.
I could make them earrings, but I can't put the metal on because I have to put them through the tumbler for so long. Those take a long fucking time to tumble.
I think you should wait on the fidget stones.
Okay.
Do the changes you're trying to do too many things at once. Wholesale, easy, fast, easy.
Yes.
No thinking. Boom.
Okay.
Is it from a buyer standpoint, does it look weird that the shop is kind of small? Like there's only 3 things in there, or is it fine? Because
there would be.
So that's a great question. And if you only have 3 things, remember how we talked about like when I list a mug, I'll just have a mug and then the drop down colors. If you only have 3 things, I would do a separate listing for each color to make it look like you have a fuller catalog.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you use Farron right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it show
me or Becca? Were you talking to me?
you, Heidi?
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering, as a seller, is there something else to give you credibility on there? Does it show you like number of sales? Does it show you number of clients? Does it show like reviews or testimonials or something like that that gives you legitimacy?
So I think like we talked about this I talked about this with Becca about with wholesale, like you're starting out, like for me too, I had all new clients. You really got to have great photos.
Yeah.
You got to have really good, strong photos, and like you have to know what your aesthetic is and try and replicate that with the photos. And we talked about Becca doing kind of like a mid-century modern kind of photo shoot with the studs and all that.
Are yours like lifestyle photos, or are they just like really nice, like backdrop, great
like
backdrop?
More simple, nice. Like you don't need all the props. You just need.
For you? We're talking about you?
Yeah.
So for your earrings, like I would suggest like a nice clean shot of we'll say the studs. We're going to do an example of studs. Do a nice like clean shot of the studs. We talked about using like a teak wood, remember?
Yeah.
Background, because that goes with the whole mid-century modern vibe.
Which is perfect because I have a cutting board that's a dark wood in my van.
Yeah. So I would take like a photograph of the studs on that. I would take a photograph on the studs on white, just so you can see the true color of the stud. Take a color of the stud in someone's ear so they see what it's like on.
And I'll tell you what.
Remember what else we talked about? A photograph of the studs in the earring card. So the wholesalers will know how to display it in their shop.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to find people that wash their ears.
I wash my ears.
No, that's good.
Because they're really greasy.
Yeah, mine too.
Mine are super.
Wash your ears like inside your ear?
Yeah.
Like, I've taken pictures of people's ears, and I'm like, you got stuff in there, man.
Oh.
Like, just flakes and stuff.
Is it like a side profile? I feel like if you're taking it from this direction, you're not going to see.
Are you taking pictures of someone's ear?
Yeah, it's side. But what I'm saying,
yeah,
but like some people don't like properly wash their ears out.
Well, Ryan, you don't probably shop for earrings, so it's like this, like the side, and you might see a little face in their ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
whoever you take the picture of, like their shirt, or if you see their shirt or their hair, should also like be the mid-century modern vibe, right?
Yeah. Okay, here's my question now.
Okay.
Now that we've decided that I should only have so-and-so colors, should I instead maybe have less colors, but have like you have your winter Wonderland series, and then your
called Longer Nights.
Right, that one. And then your summer vibes series. Like, would that be like strategically, would it be better to do like fall colors in the winter and then summery colors in the summer?
Do you change the colors of what you wear?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
We're not normal.
And how long would it take you to finish a set if they see it in mid-September and it's fall?
So what are you thinking? Like darker colors for the winter, brighter colors for the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's what I was saying. Like, yeah. Like more like dark greens, dark blues, maybe like a golden yellow. So
I think now that you're saying this, I think we have some conflicting aesthetics, because you want like a rainbow aesthetic, which to me is more like 80s, 90s vibe, but you want a mid-century modern vibe. What are the colors that are more like mid-century modern? I'm thinking like
a mustard yellow, like a rust orange, teals,
dark blues.
So I think if you want to do the mid-century modern, your colors should reflect that. But if you want like the rainbow, then your aesthetic should be more like the 80s, 90s kind of thing. And there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just trying to get them to coordinate,
Right. I feel like I am more rainbow.
Okay.
I'm more of like those earrings that I bought the other day, which were like neon yellow.
Right.
Like that's more me.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be caught dead wearing dark blue earrings if I didn't make them.
I don't sell them.
Okay.
Because it's hard enough to sell things like in
general.
I
should do 80s inspired.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna need a bright pink from Speedball. Let's go. I want that color pink in Speedball underglaze.
This pink.
Yep, and I'm about to change their chartreuse to an actual chartreuse.
Yeah. No, but that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
It doesn't. I think sometimes I used to think like there's a right answer, but there's not. It's just like if you want like the 80s, 90s thing, right? That's fine. It's totally fine. Just make sure that everything kind of lines up in that way.
Should I call it disco nights?
You could come up with some adjective. Like there are definitely adjectives that would explain that. Like
right. Should I call it roller rink Fridays?
Yes, please.
oh! What's the? Can we call it? What's the bowling that's like the crazy one?
Glow bowling?
No. Yes, but it's called
Cosmic.
We'll call them cosmic bowls. Cosmic bowling. Cosmic
jewelry.
Cosmic
jewelry.
Cosmic jewels. Ooh!
Cosmic jewels.
Cosmic jewel tones.
See, look how much more excited you are now.
I know, I do love the 80s.
Then do that!
I could see you coming up with like some 80s music for your reels when you're showing the like.
Talking about the other day?
No.
Cognitive dissonance.
We've talked a lot. We've talked about a lot of things.
I know. When you're trying to be something you're not, right? It has to align.
My whole fucking life is trying to be something I'm not because what I am, nobody accepts.
The right people will.
Thanks. Well, I can tell you that it's not the people at fucking farmers markets.
Well, that could be.
No, yeah.
It's hard.
It is. Like,
it's really hard.
Typically, I present myself as somebody that's like pink hair, but I don't have the fashion to like match the pink hair because I could care less about fashion. So I just have pink hair.
So, like, what do you think? You should wear a pink dress?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you want a pink dress?
No.
I'm like, got time. We go get you
What? Why did you decide on wholesale, Becca? Is wholesale just is that your gateway to like getting to where you want your goals to be? Or you just like it's just looming and you just like that workflow?
I think that wholesale, if I could find like 50 wholesalers, whatever, probably not that many, but like if I could find a certain amount of wholesalers and just like keep it constant and like be consistent with it, I feel like I wouldn't be worried about like finding shows and
Mm-hmm.
I like, not that I won't do the shows, I still will do shows, but it would be nice. I mean, like, yeah, I could sell online too, I guess.
Right.
But like I don't feel like I feel like wholesale, you can be inconspicuous and still have wholesalers. But like if you sell online, like have Instagram followers and all those things, you have to be on like almost all the time. And I'm not on all the time. I'm not
out there and active.
Like I could have 2 weeks of posting on Instagram and being like really good about it, and then I could have 2 months of nothing. Like I'm right in the middle of that right now, where like I was like really on and then it just like drops off.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta have the spark and the motivation to do it and keep up with it.
I'm consistent with my work, like my work ethic, but not with like my public presence.
Right.
And I don't want to have to be consistent with my public presence. I just need something that's a little bit more consistent. Even though I know wholesale is not super consistent, but it can be.
Well, it's cyclical, so it is kind of
consistent. And so something that kind of like keeps me above 21,835 or 381.
Right.
Whatever number that was.
Right.
But like, you know, if I can make 20,000 or 30,000 in wholesale in a year, then I wouldn't have to worry about how much I make at a show. I wouldn't have to worry about like how far I have to drive.
Right.
You know? So
yeah.
I'm not trying to become rich on wholesale. That's not my goal. But
Did I get the information?
Yeah, a lot of the setup seems to be very front loaded, where you do a lot of the work to get the infrastructure there, narrowing it down to the options, and then like putting all the information in a spot where people can buy it, whether it's fair or on your wholesale page on your website.
right.
And then it's kind of like wait and see, but you can also spend time doing those cold emails like Heidi was doing and
Yeah.
reach out that way.
You
And
can
that can be a ebb and flow of motivation and,
And like what I've been seeing when I've been at Heidi's, which by the way has only been less than a week, but no, a week. What I've been seeing is like Heidi spends a lot of the time on your computer.
Oh my God.
Like so much time on the computer, just like fixing the website, doing all the things. And like I have that kind of time.
Right.
And I don't really have that kind of direction right now, but I have that kind of time. And if I could get to that, that would be nice.
Well, I think, like I've told Bobby's my brother, and he's worked for me for a long time. And I've told Bobby, if you ever meet him, please call him Bob. But I've always told him, like, you can always tell how, like, I'm going to do better financially the more time I'm on the computer.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
better financially the more time you're on the computer.
Yeah, because, you have to keep pushing. Like,
I'm spending time doing on the computer.
What do I do with the computer? I update the website, and I sit here and like put together videos for Instagram, or I do a lot of, like, I get a lot of traffic from Pinterest, or my blog, or just email the my mailing list. So
you're grabbing the I've seen traction from Pinterest for a long time. Like that stuff is very long-lived.
yeah.
And are you posting more videos or photos or things from your website that always link back to your website? How are you doing?
All of the above.
Okay.
All the above, yeah.
So do you feel
like
you're on the computer because you need to be, or is it because you want to be because you know that's where the results are? Or
Well, I think it's like, because I don't do in-person shows anymore, it's shifted to that. So I have to spend more time on the computer, Like if you just sell online, you're going to be online more, right?
Yeah.
If you sell in person, you'll be outside more, I guess,
Yeah.
So email.
are you sending out emails for your email list and things like that?
How often?
Yeah.
It depends. I was doing it like once a week, and I felt like I was bugging people, but like I didn't have everyone unsubscribed, so I guess I wasn't. So usually every other week, unless like I'm trying to push something. Like right now I'm going to be hibernating the Brighter Days line, so I'm telling people to buy it before it hibernates for the winter.
Yeah. Do you always have call to actions on every single email? Does it always feel salesy when you're doing it, or is it?
They're not every time. And when I don't do a call to action, like if I'm like, oh, I wrote a blog post, that's when people write me back. So I think you have to like balance it with also, it's just like social media. You have to connect with your audience, right?
Do you get a lot of people that reply? I feel like I always get crickets. Nobody ever replies to any email list thing that I send.
Your email list.
How big is it?
Yeah. How many emails do you send out?
Yeah. How many clients or contacts do you have?
How big is it?
It's over 2,000.
That's pretty big.
It's pretty good size. I got like 600 or something like that.
I've got like 12.
When did you start your email list?
I'm collecting them though. Probably when I started. But it was harder to get emails too, because like when I started my email list, I would have to ask people at art fairs,
Yeah.
That's how
Sign
I
up.
got my first. Yeah.
I think it's grown a lot more since like social media, because people, especially like shop updates, people want to
Yeah. They
know
want
when
the inside scoop, and they want to make sure they get notified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a fucking great email list and I never use it because
Can we start a new segment on your podcast where we meet, like, I don't know, once a month, and it's called Help Becca? I'm not kidding. I think it would help everyone because this is like Becca. We have got to help you.
I used to be so in it. I used to be like so in control of my life and of all the things. And then like, and then the last couple of years happened, and I just like let everything go.
But we were talking about that, and this goes back to wholesale because I kept telling Becca like I was so tired, and she was saying how like if you do wholesale and retail shows, that's like you're gonna burn yourself out, and I think that's what I did.
Because we were talking about you actually. We were she was like,
you.
how the fuck does he do all these shows and work every night and not get burned out? And I was like, he's not doing wholesale. Like you do a few here and there, but it's not like that's your business, you know?
No, it's not.
If you were and I was like, because you have inventory, right? And if you do wholesale and you do shows, your inventory's shot.
Yeah.
My wholesale is about 10% of my sales.
Oh.
Yeah. So like, and it burns you the
like
out.
5% consignment.
And I think like I don't know if the both of you have noticed this like on Instagram or wherever you hang out on the internet, but it seems like a lot of makers are kind of struggling right now because no they are because like COVID hit and it was like, okay, well, all of us are going to go out of business. And then I was like, oh, wait, we're not going to go out of business. We're going to have a booming business.
Yeah.
But then we're not going to be able to get any supplies. And it just was kind of crazy there for a while. And now, like, I think things are kind of settling out and people are tired.
I'm fucking exhausted. I don't want to do pottery anymore.
I know Ryan's not tired, but.
Oh, I'm very tired.
Are you? Are you tired?
Yeah, but I mean, I just push through because I'm disciplined and I'm stubborn and I don't know when to say no to things.
Ryan, you need to take a day off.
I'm taking a day off tomorrow.
Off of work? All of work? Both work? Both jobs?
No, I'm taking a day off to drive to Frankfurt to drop pieces off for this Kentucky Crafted program that I applied for.
That's not a day off, Ryan.
Hey, I'm driving to Lexington or Frankfurt, and then I'm stopping in Lexington to get some glaze.
Lecture him. I'm gonna go let the cat out.
Okay. I'm not gonna give you a lecture, but what's the Kentucky Crafted thing?
So it's kind of a way to designate yourself as Kentucky Craft. It's kind of like a Kentucky Proud. Like I don't know if there's like Michigan Proud stuff. Like you're in this establishment of like you can. So the one main thing is you get the label of being Kentucky Crafted, and then you're in a pool of other handmade artists that are also in there, and they have a show in the spring that is a wholesale show for only people in the program as well as like a retail day. So I'm sure there's other benefits to it of like grant options and
cool.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I think for me it's just like a pride thing of being able to apply for it. I feel like it's a good like honor thing to have it.
It sounds cool.
Yeah. So I think it's just for
Do you get like a sticker or a T-shirt?
Yeah, I think I get some kind of I don't know if it's a sticker. It's probably like a placard or something that I get that I could like put with at my shows and things.
That's cool.
That show is like, hey, this is I'm officially a Kentucky Crafted member or whatever. It's not like a fee or anything to be in it. It's just like there's an application to do it and stuff to like, and it's like a juried process. I feel like I'd much rather be, I'm happy about getting something like that versus like getting into a show or something with a piece,
Right.
I feel like it's going to be better for the business long term to be in that.
Oh, it sounds cool. I don't think they have a similar thing in Michigan.
They have one in Indiana.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, Indiana Artisans.
So maybe they do have one in Michigan. I'll put that on the list tomorrow.
They probably do.
Yeah, Deanna got into the one in Indiana, and so did Savannah. And it's like a pretty extensive like thing to get into. It's pretty like prestigious almost.
Like ours is associated with the government, so it's like the Kentucky Artisans Council, Kentucky Arts Council, which is like a part of the Kentucky government, and it's like probably helping small businesses and handmade, and I think they have other opportunities of like, seminars or ways to help you improve your business, and
they'll help you like take pictures and like find shows and like do shit like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Or maybe find somebody to take pictures or whatever.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
What up, home skillets? So, we're interrupting this time because we couldn't interrupt it at the time of the time. So, I wanted to talk to you about the L&L thermocouple guard, because that's my favorite part of the new kilns, is that, you know how like when you have a normal thermocouple, it just like sticks out and it's just like out there all willy-nilly in front of God and everybody, and it just has no protection at all. Well, on the new thermocouples in the L&L kilns, they have a cool guard, and it's almost like a PVC pipe type thing, but it's ceramic, obviously. But it's kind of like a tube that surrounds the thermocouple, and what it's doing is that it's protecting it from any damage that might happen, so it'll get damaged before the thermocouple actually gets damaged. And also, what I think is really, really great is that none of the black, dusty stuff that happens to quite literally every thermocouple, whether you get it from one kiln company or the other, it degrades and it starts to like kind of crumble and fall, and that guard is actually going to catch all those little black crumblies. And that, in my opinion, is the coolest thing about the new L&Ls, because I haven't seen a thermocouple guard like that in any other kiln, and I just think that that's so nice. Like, what's great about it is that, you have to protect 3 thermocouples. You're not just, because there is zone control, you're not just protecting 1 thermocouple, you have to protect 3. And that just kind of takes the worry out of it all. So you can go to hotkilns.com and see what I am talking about and find all of the L&L awesomeness that you want. They have a fantastic website that has all of the things you need, and also it has a great troubleshooting area as well. I've used it many a times, even for my kiln that's not L&L. So yeah, let's get back to our regular program.
but
We should probably talk about pricing.
I told Becca, I didn't remember, I said to you, we're going to have this podcast be 1 hour. And then what did I say? Who am I kidding? I'm going to sit there and talk for 2 hours.
well, I'm asking you questions that are keeping this going for ever. Okay, what do we want to hit on pricing?
She has a printout.
I do.
Oh, you have notes. You came prepared.
I do. Yeah. Okay.
What do we want to say?
Well, I think the takeaway is if you've made it this far, congratulations. And you have to figure out your overhead. And nobody likes doing that, but you have to do it.
I think that also a reason we're talking about pricing paired with wholesale is because a lot of people, and we've talked about this before, a lot of people price their items thinking that they'll never get into wholesale, or not even thinking about it. And then once you do wholesale, you're like, fuck me, why are my prices so low?
Right.
So that's your intro.
Yeah. So what you need to consider when you're doing your pricing is you need to consider your materials and your labor and your overhead. And you're going to add that up. And that is your bare minimum.
How is your overhead different from your materials? What is your firing costs and stuff like that?
Yeah, so if you have like your electricity, your internet, your
Office supplies, all
yeah,
that.
you have rent. Some people have studio rent, all that.
Okay.
And your labor should not be the fastest labor that you can do. It should be your slowest.
Yes.
That's something I learned from you.
I know. I remember that was the last time we talked.
Yeah.
Because you can't perform at peak performance every day. You're going to be tired. And so I always suggest doing it as your slowest. timing your slowest.
So you time yourself per form.
Yeah, so we're going to assume you're going to throw, right? So I would say do it in like a group, because
So 20 pieces.
yeah, like 10. I usually do 10. But
10, yeah, 10 is good, I guess.
Yeah.
So 10 mugs, and then document how long it took you per mug just to throw the body, and then 10 handles, and then average that out. How long did that take?
And then you're clean. You need to know how long it takes you to clean up each piece. So if you're going to trim your mugs, how long that takes. If you're going to decorate your mugs like green, when they're green, how long it takes you to load the kiln, how long it takes you to unload the kiln, how long it takes you to wax the bottom of the pots, how long it takes you to glaze the pots, how long it takes you to transport the pots from the kiln to where you're going to be glazing, how long it takes you to load the glaze kiln, how long it takes you to take everything out of the glaze kiln, how long it takes you to clean up the bottom of your pots. People don't want to hear this, but you have to, or you're going to screw yourself.
Yeah.
How long it's going to take.
How would you do the unloading? Do you just say, I've got 100 pots in here, this is how long it took me to unload 100 pots?
Yeah, so you're going to, that's why I said to do it by 10, because it's easier, the math is easier to divide it out.
Yeah, or you could be one shelf is all mugs, and then you're just okay, this shelf, and scale it by 4, and that's how many.
And it doesn't have to be super precise, but I just say that so you start thinking about how valuable your time is and how every little thing adds up so that you're not undercharging.
And if you have children, make sure that you're not telling them, don't bother me for this time. Make sure they're bothering you.
Right. You want it to be how you really work during the day.
And then how did you come up with a price per hour that you want to pay yourself?
The price per hour? The labor?
All that comes down to a bunch of seconds and minutes and stuff. And then you're what's my labor worth? And does my labor cost change based on whether I'm loading a kiln versus throwing a pot versus, does that change?
I love Ryan. We're twins, Ryan. I love these questions. I would keep it the same just to make it easier. It's I make all my own glaze. I don't know if you do this because you make your own glaze, but I just average it out to the most expensive glaze. I don't figure out the price. So for the materials, my glaze is always the most expensive glaze, which is the tin violet.
Mm-hmm.
The tin violet because it's most expensive. Just to keep it easier and give myself a little cushion. Yeah. So I would just charge the same labor rate for everything.
But what would you? What's your labor rate? How much do you charge per hour on your sheet?
Are you nervous to say because it's less or what?
No, I want to know.
I don't know off the top of my head. Isn't that awful? Because I have it all written down in my spreadsheets.
So you're not
You don't know your hourly. Are you asking for her hourly rate? Is that what you're asking?
Hourly rate?
What I'm trying to produce per hour?
No.
So you're thinking am I $15 an hour?
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking.
What do you pay yourself for labor costs?
Yeah, what do you pay yourself for labor costs?
I think
she's thinking. That's okay.
It's in my thing, but I don't know how to minimize. How do I minimize this so I can see it?
Or a roundabout number?
Do you pay yourself exit full screen. Do you pay yourself $60 an hour?
I think it's $40 an hour.
I was thinking 30 or something at least.
Yeah, it's 40.
What the fuck, bro?
I don't know.
Well, we're just gonna go with 40.
But it doesn't make no, it doesn't.
So what you went to a spreadsheet version of this, and you wrote all the numbers, and then that calculated it for you.
Yeah. So then I don't have to. I'm the kind of person that I write things down or put it in a spreadsheet, so then I don't. Here we go. So then I don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah. I think Andrew Linderman had something like that too, Becca.
How did you make this into dark?
I didn't do anything, I swear to God.
Is it because we're here at night?
If it's a Mac, it automatically does that.
I didn't know that.
Wait, what'd you say?
If it's a Mac, it'll automatically go to dark mode after a certain period of time. A certain hour of the day, yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of spreadsheets here.
I'm really thorough.
You think that's necessary to be that thorough for
Labor
everybody out there that is
rate
not
for-
that brained?
44. What did you say?
I said, do you think it's necessary for someone to be that thorough that is not like that?
You mean that's not like you and I?
Yeah. Because I don't want to discourage
Nope.
people. Like, I buckle when I see a spreadsheet. Like,
You buckle?
no, not me. I'm saying there's people out there that are like, I just freeze up when I see a spreadsheet, and it just like.
Well, I'm the kind of person that like wants to understand things as thoroughly as possible, which can be a good thing and a bad thing because I know then I overthink things. But like if I want to teach people how to do this, I want to understand it, as well as I can. So my labor rate is $44.44, and that's just for the wholesale line. So when I do one of a kind work, my labor rate's more.
So it could still be slipcast, but it's one of a kind somehow?
Yeah. Yep. It is still one of a kind. Because I decorate it differently. Okay.
Okay, so that's just your labor.
Mm-hmm.
45 bucks an hour.
Yeah.
Were you paying yourself that what were you paying yourself before you did the spreadsheet? Would you guess?
I probably wasn't paying myself.
Probably.
I mean, I told Becca for the longest time I just like took money as I needed, but I didn't like pay myself weekly, which if you're doing that, don't do that. That is extremely stressful.
So stressful.
So now I pay myself every Monday. Every Monday.
I
And
pay
that's a lot
myself every
easier.
Friday.
Every Friday. Well, every Monday, because I have it automatically set up. So I pay myself every Monday, and then every Friday money goes into my savings for
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes.
And tell them what you do if you can't pay yourself. Write yourself a note.
Oh, I write myself a note. If I can't pay myself 1 week, I write a note and I say the business owes me, and it's right by my computer.
Oh, so you manually pay yourself every Monday?
No, it's set up through my bank that it just does it automatically. What is that called? An automatic
Auto transfer.
Yeah, an auto transfer.
I manually pay myself.
Yeah.
Do you do that because it like feels good?
Yeah.
It does feel good.
And also, I don't want it to automatically transfer if it's not full.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
Okay, so when you get your materials and your labor and your overhead, whatever you choose, the whole point of this is a lot of times you get that number and you're like, that's my price. That is not your price. It's not your price. That's your
price to produce it, right?
Yeah, that's your bare minimum wholesale price.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to add in profit.
Why do you want profit?
So you can buy a new kiln.
Because profit first.
Right, profit first. Yes.
And it's not greedy to want profit, right?
No.
But I used to think that it was. That's why I got myself in trouble. It's because I thought it was bad to, not be in poverty. Because I thought that, like, somehow that was more... I think there's a lot of, like, strange things with artists. Where, like, you don't want to overcharge because you want your work to be accessible to everyone. But, like, if someone's in poverty, the last thing they're thinking about is how they're going to afford a handmade mug.
That's not your customer base.
And yeah, that's not your customer base.
Item at the end of the day, anyways. Like nobody needs a handmade mug.
Right.
There's plenty of options out there that are not handmade. Right,
and like you undercharging for your work and being in poverty isn't helping anyone.
I don't think it maintains you long term either. Like you're not going to be in this game very long if you can't even.
So you want to take your bare minimum wholesale price and you want to add in your profit, whatever, that is whatever you want. I can't really tell you what to add. And then That's your wholesale price. A lot of times people just stop there. But the way I do it, that's your wholesale price, and then you take that number and you multiply it by 2, and then that becomes your retail price.
How do you know how much profit to just add on there before it's wholesale? So you just come up with like, do you have like an example of like a specific form with a specific?
I do.
Do your cup.
Okay, so like I have a cup. It's just like a little cup.
Like a juice cup?
Yeah, like a juice cup like this. Like these hold.
Okay.
I don't.
Like an 8-ounce cup, something like
that. I think it's 6. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so like the total labor cost for that cup, and if you go to my website and look at cup, you'll see it. They're $38 retail. The total material cost is 95 cents.
Wait, the labor cost is $5.93.
What did I say?
You didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going through the materials.
Oh, okay.
The materials are 95 cents a cup. The labor time is 8 minutes. The labor cost is $5.93. The total overhead is $2.74. So then that means that the bare minimum wholesale price is $9.62. And then you have to also factor in if you are working with like a wholesale platform that takes a percentage. You don't want that to cut into your profit. You know what I mean? Or if you even have like a wholesale rep, they take a percentage. It kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, Ryan, about like checks, having clients send you a check or doing a credit card.
Yeah.
So anyway, so for the cup, my profit at wholesale is $4.63.
Because her fair commission is $4.75.
Yeah.
What's your wholesale price for that cup that retails at $38?
$19.
19. Okay. 19. All that. How did you were talking about the overhead? How do you? Because it's like fractions of things all over the place with like shipping boxes and everything. Like, how do you figure that out? Do you just estimate what those other expenses are for the past year, and then you just how do you get the math for that?
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You take your so what I do is I have a detailed list that breaks down. You can break it down monthly or annually. So it's like my studio mortgage, and then my utilities, the insurance. If you have
phone, all that stuff.
Your phone, internet, subscriptions, all kinds of stuff. If you have any wholesale like marketing, like if you do the postcards, office supplies, internet, like you said, and then you take that number and divide it by 12 to get per month. And then you have to figure out, and this is, I want to teach a class on like pricing for beginners, because we're getting into advanced stuff, and this is gonna confuse people, because you also have to consider after this whole formula, like how many hours a week do you actually produce pottery? Because you have to make sure that you're paying yourself when you're not producing pottery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even when you're answering emails or taking photographs or all that.
Mm-hmm. All that time you're spending, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the I know that's what I did. I didn't charge enough so that I was actually getting paid for that too.
And let me tell you, Heidi is very scheduled now. She comes in at 9. She goes for a walk at 11:30. She takes a break at 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Comes in at 9, takes a break at 10, takes a walk at 11:30, goes to lunch at 12, comes back at 1, takes a break at 2:30?
Yeah.
2:30, leaves at 4.
Wow. That's very scheduled. Do you have like alarms or something, or how do you?
No.
That started during COVID.
It is on the dot, too.
I think it's so funny because I think everyone thinks like I'm kind of like fly by the seat of my pants, and I'm like, nope. Where's the schedule?
Do you? I'm guessing do you have your retail shop open on a regular basis?
Yeah.
No, it's technically open. I just don't always put the flag out. Yeah, it's open. I tried a new thing this summer where it was open on the weekends, and that did not go well. I have more people stop during the week, and I'm open like 1 to 4 Tuesday through Thursday, which is like really weird hours, but that's when people stop.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that kind of a vibe would be so distracting, and especially if you're scheduled like that. Like, I don't know.
the 1 to 4 thing.
Just having retail hours that is shared with your studio space that you have to manage as well as, or do you have somebody else that manages if people come in?
No, it's me, and it does. I fluctuate between like having the set studio hours and having open by appointment. Because it's really, there's a lot of lakes around here, so it's kind of like touristy. So like now that it's after Labor Day, it kind of slows down. So I could just switch it to by appointment only.
Yeah. I just have a feeling like maybe it's just location specific, but I feel like the potential distractions are not worth the getting back into the like groove of just being closed, focusing on what you're doing, and like setting aside specific days that you're only doing that, only
No,
selling
you're
it.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like Val just texted me like this last week, and she's like, I hate it when somebody comes in, they don't buy a damn thing, and now I have to get back to work, and I don't
Right.
even know what I was working on.
Right.
It sucks.
I think like brain wise, when you context switch, it takes you like 15 minutes to get back to where you were when you get distracted.
Yeah.
Well, that does it.
So
Yeah.
how many context switches?
Canceling the studio hour.
So like I don't know. I just don't think it makes sense for that to even work. Like I don't know a world in which that does work, where it's a working studio and you have retail.
Makes sense.
So what's your formula on that paper? Is it an actual like? Is there something else that we didn't hit that was on that?
No.
No.
That's all of it. Okay.
It's mostly the fact that you have a bare minimum wholesale price, which is your materials, labor, and overhead,
Yeah.
and then you add profit to that bare minimum price, and that's your wholesale price. And then the wholesale price times 2 is your retail price. Instead of deciding what your retail price is and then going back to wholesale, you should be going from your wholesale price up to retail.
Because what it seems like is a lot of people's retail price is actually their wholesale price.
Yeah.
I know the silence. I know that's like hard to swallow. That like it was really difficult for me to realize how long and how much I had been undercharging. But then once I like raised my prices, I was a lot more relaxed.
That's why I like selling jewelry, because you can charge like an unrealistic amount.
I know.
And people are like, great. Like I sell those stupid little hoops for $35.
I bet you could charge more.
I could probably charge
I bet
more.
you could double that.
Oh my god.
Good. Try it.
I'll try it next year.
Try it at the pottery tour.
I already have my price. I gotta make new price things.
Oh, okay. Next year.
No, but I think when I do the wholesale stuff, I will reformulate my price structure.
Oh yeah.
Like once I get the wholesale stuff done.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you figure out your price?
I just did the supply. I did the supply and demand way of it. I started mugs at $18 back 2016, and then you bump it up a little bit. I bumped it up like $2 every year, and it's really just based on, can I keep up with it? Am I overwhelmed? And I can change them quickly if the things are flying off the shelf, and I just fucking go for it. Like the soup bowl. I think we talked about this on the podcast. Like the soup bowls I introduced last year. I was like, it's a bowl that retails for $26, and I put a handle on it, and then I priced them at like $30, I think, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then I sold them out, and then I was like, okay, we talked to Becca, and I was like, what if I bumped it to like 35? And then I think I did that, sold them out, and I'm like, all right, 38, and then I've like found kind of a sweet spot, and then now they sell for 40. So.
How much are your spoon rests, Ryan?
18.
Even though they could be 20.
I think the 36.
They'll be 20 next year.
Well, you missed a whole $2 off of your thousand spoon rest. You missed
All right.
$2,000 this year.
All right. Sure.
She has a good phone.
I'm kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. Wait, does that mean that this year at the Cincinnati Coffee Festival they're going to be $20 instead of $18?
They might be.
That's when you changed them last year.
Well, I gotta get new signs for that if that's the case.
How big are your spoon rests?
About 5 inches.
Like my trinket tray?
They're bigger than this, but about that size.
Yeah.
Do you do the little divot?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Those are hand built right there, I'm guessing, right? Are those discs?
That's
That's
slip cast.
Oh, they're slip cast.
Yeah.
This is $25.
No, that's not. That's old. That's not $25.
It's $25. It says it right there.
But there's a design on the other side, right?
Not $25.
No.
That was a bad joke.
Or yes.
So when I'm
How much would you sell for this for now?
now, 45.
45?
Mhm.
45.
Oh my god.
For everybody that can't see, this is like quite literally.
The thing is with
It's
price,
a
like
5-inch tray. No, it's 4. It's 4 inches, and it's about half an inch tall. It's beautiful. I love it.
Okay, so I think, and like Heidi, we mentioned this a little earlier. Like, yeah, I'm getting tired of stuff, right? So I think the big awakening of next year is going to be I'm going to raise my prices on a lot of things.
Oh, good.
So I just came to this realization today when we were talking, but like maybe that's the next thing of like, okay, maybe it'll slow me down by not, like I don't have to make as many things. It's hard because you're like pushing away sales of people that can afford it at 18 for people that want to buy it at 23 or whatever, you know. But it feels good to sell like 45 spoon rests at a show, like.
It does feel good.
So.
Oh, I know. Like going to a show and selling out, and you just.
It's the whole quantity versus quality situation, you know?
Yeah.
Plus, it feels rewarding to throw 30 or 45 of them, but also that time to, like, I throw them and I'm like, oh, now I know my whole day tomorrow. Well, not my whole day, but like an hour and a half is just finishing these bottoms up and stamping them. Like, sure, they're easy to throw, but like, I have to do this because they're going to dry out. So I can't do other things because I have to do this part.
Right. You've been here a week. Have you heard me complain about being in pain at all?
No.
I'm not. At all.
Pain?
I used to be all the time. It was grinding super hard and like, exhausted, but now I'm like, this is what life is like. Like you don't, I still get tired, and take a nap, but it's not like when you're putting handles on hundreds of mugs and you're undercharging and you get tired, really. Like I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it's like your soul is worn out.
Yeah.
I think they call that burnout.
I think they do.
But what you said, Ryan, makes a lot of sense because that transition when you do finally raise your prices and then you have like more time on your hands.
I don't think I would have more time though. But I would just shift the time elsewhere to do more. I don't know. I'd probably do more soda. Like the soda kiln is going to be built, so like maybe that means it frees me up time to do more soda firing, which is interesting, or carved work or something. I don't know.
Well, for me, I actually had free time. And I kind of didn't, I felt uncomfortable because I was so used to going. And then I wasn't going. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
does it, because you knew what work and hustle was involved to get the sales at the other price.
Yeah.
So like, how did you know where that line was of how much work you needed to put in that was like enough? Because you're only going to sell a certain percentage of your inventory. So like, how much do I actually need to make? Because for me, I have to keep making because there's always going to be a demand for it. But that's where hopefully the price like levels it out, but
right. That's a good question, and I really don't know the answer.
I mean, it seems like you set schedules for yourself. So like 9 to 4 is your hours and labor that you have to work with.
Yeah.
And that's generally off limits. Like you don't really fluctuate from that. Or are there exceptions?
I don't usually work weekends. I don't, sometimes maybe like during the holiday season, I'll work a little later, but not, if it's really busy, I'll work until 5 maybe, but I think I think I burn myself out, like, because I used to work. I think I would work like, I'd get to the studio between like 7 and 8 and work until like 6 and worked weekends, and then I was gone at shows, and, I just wasn't, it was like I was treading water. Yeah, treading water. Like I was busting my ass, but I wasn't getting anywhere. I think that's like the definition of burnout, isn't it?
I feel like you're describing me, but I feel like I'm getting somewhere. But I always want that next thing. I want to get even further.
Right.
And
And
I need that. I don't even need what I have now. Like I don't need to be at the level of like work that I'm doing now. But I do it because it's like a challenge. I don't know.
Oh, Ryan. Yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah. You know what happened? I had a
concussion.
No, I had a panic attack. And I'd never had a panic attack. And I was the jerk who thought, like, I'm so sorry, everyone, but I was the person that thought, like, when people had panic attacks, they were, like, being dramatic. And then I had one, and I was like, oh, my God, this is awful.
What is the scene? Like, what happened? If you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind. So it was after I bought this studio, and I was like, holy shit, I am way in over my head. Like, I can't afford this. And I told Joe, I was like, we had just closed.
Joe's her husband.
Oh, yeah, Joe's my husband. I was like, we had just closed on it, and I was like, I think we should sell it. And he's like, well, we just bought it. And I was like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And it just felt like way too much. And I was coming off of like, we bought it in 2017, and 2016 was a big year for me. And I was doing lots of retail shows and lots of wholesale. And I was undercharging, and I was going. I remember like I did the Etsy wholesale thing. So I was like in Brooklyn. Then I had to drive to Brooklyn. Then I had to drive back to Michigan. We were trying to like finish the house to get a home equity loan to buy the studio. And then I had to do a show in Chicago. So then I was like driving to Chicago, and I told Joe, I was like, I think I'm going to have a heart attack. Like I felt like I was going to die. And then it just progressively, just like that anxiety just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then I woke up one night.
Is that over the same day, or is that over like days or weeks or what?
Over months. It happened over months, yeah. Because I'm like you, and I like a challenge, and I just was like, I would like feel better for a little bit. So I'm like, well, I'm fine. I can keep going. But then like I had the panic attack, and it really feels like you're dying. Have you had a panic attack?
Yeah, I've had a panic attack going down a mountain after almost getting stuck on top of it in the snow.
Oh.
It was awful.
Yeah.
In a car, I'm guessing?
Awful. What?
You were in a car and you were stuck? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I was going over. I was headed to Washington. It was probably March 10th. I was headed to Washington to have a job interview, and I went up Lookout Pass, and it was like, it didn't say chains required, but it said chains suggested. I got up to the top. My four-wheel drive wasn't working. There were semis all over the road, and we were just like inching around all the semis that were stuck. And as we came down the mountain, I fucking flipped out. And the only person I could like think of to call was my cousin. Thank God she answered the phone. Like, it was awful. It was awful. Like, I was hysterical. It was awful.
So is that I'm guessing there's some brain stuff going on during that, and there's some pain, like like pressure, or is it like chest stuff? Is it
like
like
I don't know if this happened to you, but I just was like shaking uncontrollably. And I was like, what the hell is happening? And like it was like I was terrified, like more scared than I've ever been
Yeah.
scared in my life. And like you can't control it, which makes you even more afraid.
Yeah. And I had to drive at the same time because
I
I
don't know how
couldn't
you drove.
I couldn't like pull over because it was still like so much snow. It was wow. That was a fucking awful experience.
And like I don't know if you've ever like cried so hard that you're like
yeah.
You keep doing that, you're like and it's like, oh my god, what's happening? I know I'm laughing now, but it was not funny at the time.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. So what happened was because like I didn't change anything, they kept coming. I kept having them, and I was like, oh my god.
Like every month, like once a month or something, or
no, like every day. And I was like,
every day.
Yeah. And I remember like I called my therapist and I was like, I need an appointment, and I had to go into the office, and like she's like, are you okay? And I just like started sobbing, and I was like, no, like something's very wrong, like I need help, like I can't. I'm reaching my head. I'm like, I can't do this. And then I was just like, okay. They finally stopped when I was like, I was like, bring it. This is gonna sound so weird, but I was like, I don't care. Like, bring everything you've got. And I just like sat there and took it, and then it went away, and I've never had another one. I just was like, I know, it's such a weird thing.
So did you have realizations and you changed something with the business? Did you realize that it was business inducing, or
no? I think what happens is like you with like chronic stress is like it's gradual, so you don't like see it, like you can like if there's like these major life stressors in your life, and when those happen, like you're like, oh, I'm very stressed, like a loved one dies or whatever, you can tell. But with chronic stress and like running your own business, it's gradual, and like good things are stressful and bad things are stressful. So it's like, okay, I go and like do this thing with Etsy wholesale, and I get this honorable mention. I'm in Whole Foods. That's great. But then I have to go to Chicago and do this show, and it's shit. And that's even, you know what I mean? And so it just happens gradually. And I was ignoring like all the warning signs that I was stressed out. And finally my body was like, you're not listening. And then when the panic attacks finally stopped, I remember I was actually sitting over on the couch, and I was like, I need to think of all the things I can do to make this less stressful. And so like I slowly had to like, okay, like I'll do this show. And that's when I started to realize like if I worked less, I actually was more productive. Which I know sounds crazy.
You work less and you're more productive because you're more focused on what you're doing because there's a deadline, sort of like a.
Well, yeah, and then you're not so tired too.
And then you work more optimal because you get enough rest. And
yeah. That I remember like I would read articles that said like if you had kept a certain sleep schedule, you would feel better. And I was like, whatever, they're full of shit.
They're not.
I mean, a lot of it goes back to the basics of like, are you getting enough sleep, right?
Right, it does. And that was the other thing that I realized is like I just didn't get enough sleep. And like even now when things feel off, I'm like, I think I need like a nap or, need a good night's sleep. So this took a turn. It's like every interview I do takes a turn.
That's okay.
No, this is a good turn. I think that's just myself. Like it'll resonate with people.
Because I remember talking to you once, Ryan, about like, I don't know if this is true anymore, but at one time you would grind your teeth.
I mean, I still wear a mouth guard.
Oh, you do? Okay. So I did that too, which is usually.
I think I grinded during the day. Like, I think I grinded when I'm in the studio. I think I asked you that or something, or we talked about.
Yeah. And see, I would do that too. And for like the longest time, I thought like I had an ear infection, and they gave me like antibiotics. And then I went to an ear, nose, and throat specialist, and he was like, "Oh, it's called TMJ, and from like clenching my jaw." And I was like, well, why do I do that? And he's like, well, you would have to go see my wife. And I was like, what does your wife do? And he was like, she's a psychologist. And I was like, God damn it. I was like, I am not going to therapy. But I just, like I said, I think that stress, it just creeps up on you,
Yeah.
you know? Because, like, you're doing this thing you love, and then you start selling a lot, and
you
it's
don't
great.
love it, and then
Well, it's not that you don't love it, but like if it just feels like you're treading water,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard to sustain that. So that's why I think pricing is so important.
It's funny because like I feel like when you price your pieces at a rate that like let's say you're pricing this cup that Heidi makes. Let's say you were selling it retail for $19. When you sell it, you're like, okay, I need to make more of those.
Right.
But when you sell it for $40 or $38, you're like, fuck yeah. Like, I just sold that for fucking $38. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, I need to make more of them, but like $38 fucking dollars. You know?
Right.
That's $12 less than $50.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it gives you pride, you know?
Yeah.
Were you always, because you did a lot of shows and you did some wholesale, but were you selling those $38 in person where you might have sold them at $19 in person before? Like, did you have that difference in customers, like, reactions of something to compare to? You know what I mean? Or were you all, like, online and wholesale at that point?
Oh, yeah. It was all online by that point.
Okay.
I mean, people would come to the studio. Like, I had someone come to the studio a couple weeks ago because he broke a cup, and he broke one of the old cups that was like the decal one. And I think the highest those ever got were 28. And he's kind of a frugal guy, so I was like, oh, this isn't going to go well. And he just picked the new one up and bought it, like no questions asked or anything. I think a lot of it's me. I think people are going to have like this. And some people, it's not for everyone. I understand that. You know, like there's a lady that lives across the street, and she comes over like once a year to just visit. And she never buys anything. And it's fine. Because she says, you know, like that's not her thing. Pottery's not her thing. But she's like my neighbor, and she's just being neighborly. And I get that.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny because like when I started pricing my cups at like $50 and $100, first of all, it's hilarious to me that people think that they were like, oh, I thought that the large cup was actually the small cup. And I'm like, no, there's two very clear sizes there.
You mean that the large cup was $50?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I was like, no, those are $100. Like, but now, like, I've gotten kind of used to, like, being like, did you see the sign? Did you see the price? Like, before I wrap it up, I'll be like, did you see the price? And they're like, yep. Mostly I get yep, I saw it.
Yeah. I get that when people come into the showroom, like, I'll add it up and I'll be like, take a breath, like, I'm going to tell them the price, and then they're going to say, I don't want it anymore, and no one has said that.
Right. Or like, you're like, your total is $295.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're like, what did you say? No, nobody. Everybody's like, here you go.
Yeah. But I feel like with my stuff, now that I've been pricing my stuff at a reasonable price, I feel like I'm not underpricing most of my stuff. Maybe the cups. A little bit.
Next month we'll talk. No.
No, but they're $100, and like they don't take that much time, but they do. But like when people pick them up, they're like, "Oh, that's why."
Right.
And that kind of like to me, I'm like, "Yeah, that's why."
Right.
Because they take a fucking long ass time.
Let's say you know all of this about the pricing, and you price your cup at $30. And you go to shows, you don't have this base of customers, and crickets. Like, you sell 5 things. Like, I feel like that is debilitating for people to like not get that return and not get that like satisfaction that like their success, like maybe their price is good, but it's not,
Right.
That's where I think the supply and demand is like an okay option to a point, but once you get, I don't know, maybe I just
I
want
like
to do all that math.
how I like
Right.
make half of the amount of money that you do at shows? Like that?
You're
Like,
saying that your stuff is priced at the price it should be and mine's not. Is that what you mean?
well, not necessarily, but I mean,
I don't know if you're doing the right shows.
well, I'm awful at shows too.
Well,
But I mean, like, yeah, it can be pretty disappointing, but also you can't give up. If you're confident in the price that you have,
Doesn't the sale make you confident in the price as well?
okay, so there's lots of questions. So to go back to what Ryan was saying, if you put your heart and soul into your pottery and your pricing and you don't do well, that hurts. And I think that's normal. And I think it's normal to feel discouraged. I always called those shows when I would questioning my life choices, and that's when I would like get on my phone and look at like accelerated nursing degrees.
well, me too.
So that's normal. But I mean, if you're a maker, I feel like that's totally normal. If you aren't a maker, like when I tell people who have more traditional jobs that they are just like aghast, like, oh, why would you ever say that? But I say to them, like, you dream about like quitting your job and working for yourself. What do you think we dream about? Like you're reading too much into this. So if you have a bad show, I'm sorry. That sucks. It does. It really sucks. But it could be lots of things. Like if it could be the bad fit.
I think it's the time thing. I think it just takes a lot of time to get the customer base and get that comfortability of how to talk about your work, how to show your work, how to interact with customers, being at the right shows, like picking the right shows, like all that takes time. And I think pricing is one variable that's going to affect whether people buy something or not.
Right.
And
make sure that your prices are high enough that like you can pay yourself and like pay your booth fees or
your bills and all that.
You might need to get a part-time job, and that's fine.
Nobody said that wasn't fine.
Right. I don't think that like I hope people don't take away from this like being too hard on themselves, like, because that's what I did. I was like, I screwed up my pricing and I'm a screw up. And it's like, no, you just like made a mistake. That was all, right?
Like, we all make mistakes.
Right.
You just have to like acknowledge it, and move to a new piece on the board, and then like
keep moving.
And shows are hard too, because like especially if you have a hard show and like your neighbor sells out, Ryan. No, I'm teasing you.
Sold out, but
what?
I said I've never sold out, but that's just because I bring so much shit that.
Right. But and you can do like the same show different years. I was telling Becca this. Like, you can do like $3,000 one year, and then like the next year do like $1,000. It's just.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And like you can't really. I mean, the economy could be bad in Michigan and could be booming in Kentucky right now. Like,
it
is different state to state, for sure. Like, we used to always talk about when I was in Seattle that Seattle has its own economy, like because of all of the Microsoft and Amazon and Boeing employees there. It completely like shifts and turns in a completely different way than the rest of the country.
That makes sense.
And if you're in a small town in North Carolina, you could have a completely different, like your surrounding economy could be completely different than your, everywhere else. It's getting pretty late.
I feel like our goods though are luxury goods that the people that are most impacted by inflation, for instance, are not going to be your customers anyways, that are going to be willing to buy your stuff. So that's why I don't think the state to state is as big of a deal.
Yes, but
Like, I'm still having a good year and inflation's worse than last year, right? Or maybe, I don't know.
yeah, you're still having a good year, but you have to think about those shows too. Like, if the economy's good and if somebody just got a raise, they're more likely to go to that show and become your new customer that 1 year. All the other people that would normally go to that show are already going to go to that show.
Right.
Like, but if somebody's having a great year, then they might go extra that 1 year, and like spend their money because they have the money.
Okay. So potential for a new customer that might be borderline your customer, but
Right.
got bumped into your
Yeah.
customer
I mean, like,
base.
it really, like, the economy does affect these shows.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like, up here in Michigan, every show that I've been to, all of the people that I've talked to have been like, this year was fucking balls for shows up here. And I don't know if that's because,
Like good.
no, horrible, bad.
The artists that you've been selling with, is that what you mean? The
Yeah,
peers?
and not me, because, like, I know it's my first year doing these shows.
Right.
But, like, they've done traditionally worse in these, like, last couple months than they did last year. And maybe it's because it's too hot up here. Maybe, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
But
I told Becca this earlier this week that, and this is just a weird thing, that if I pretended like I didn't need the money and it didn't matter, I always did better. When I acted like I really needed the money and like I needed a sale, like I felt like people could sense that, and like
Vibe, yeah.
like that, my desperation, it's hard.
I always get my complaining out of the way early on in the show. I'll text Val and I'll be like, this show fucking sucks. I hate everybody here, and this lady over here is bugging the shit out of me. And then I'll be like, thank you for listening. I will now have a great show.
Does that work?
Yeah, it does, because then I'm not pissed.
Like
Like if I just sit there and like
let it stew.
Like the last show that I was at, some fucking lady who sold, never mind, that sold something that was a multi-level marketing company, threw an orange peel on the floor, on the ground behind her booth, and I was so fucking mad. I did have a mimosa in me at that time, and I like went up to her and I put the orange peel in a trash bag and I put it in her booth and I said, here's a bag for your trash. And then I walked away. And I felt immediately better after that.
Does your sales reflect that afterwards?
Probably. I don't know. I blacked out the whole weekend. I didn't really remember what happened, but I just have to get the stuff out of the way that I like feel mad about or in a certain way about. And then I can focus on selling and being like nice to the customers that are awesome,
I think too, like there's different caliber shows, and like if you're gonna make a full-time living selling whatever you make, you gotta start trying to do better and better shows.
Yeah, like good shows.
Yeah.
I mean,
And like research them,
right.
like you do.
Like what?
To do research them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of just trying a lot of them, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and then you optimize when you do the same show over and over. And you figure out, like, okay, I know this price point of most people are going to be spending about $30, so you feature the things that are in that price point more,
Right.
and just gain more attention. And then you figure out the things that are worth taking and not worth taking, and you don't overexert yourself,
Right.
bring too much, which I've done, and then you feel even more like, I brought all this stuff that I was so prepared for, and then you take home everything but 10 pieces, and you're like, well, that was a waste.
Well, because that's what I told Becca too the other day. I was like, well, if you want to make $5,000 at a show, you probably need to take like $10,000 worth of inventory.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, somebody was asking last week or whatever. They were like, "How much work do you take? Do you take like I took like $5,000 worth? How much do you take at your show?" And I'm like, I don't know, like $15,000 worth. I don't know.
But that's how much you have to take if you want to make, you know, it doesn't make sense if you want to make 5,000 to bring 5,000. I remember
Yeah.
a potter told me that once, and it was like, poof, like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. But you
Yeah.
know,
I take like so many fucking earrings. Like the amount of earrings that I have in my booth is unmatched.
I wonder if you should set out less earrings.
I do set out less
Oh,
than
okay.
what I have.
Oh, okay.
My setup is actually pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, I always have like multiple colors that I know will sell. And like the last show that I was at, all of my purple colors, all of the purples sold. I had 3
That's
pairs of purple like dangles, and they all sold in like 25 minutes.
More
I'm like,
purple.
more purple. That
So-
never happens, but
Yeah, did you go back and just make 10 pair of them or something?
no, I haven't made any of them yet.
See, whenever I'm at a show, I'll jot notes down on a paper of like these forms and these colors that I need to make more of, because I can see the gamut of everything that I have available generally, because I take pretty much the best stuff that I can to shows. And then I'm like, okay, I need to make more of this color. I'm missing this one, or this one sold quickly, or whatever. Besides the square analytics and stuff, but that at least gives me something when I go into the studio next time. Like, okay, this gives me some gauge of what I should spend my time doing.
That's what I used to do too. I would take like a physical inventory sheet with me, and then at the end of the show,
I used to
tally
do
it
that
all
too.
up. So
Yeah.
I'll get that detailed, but just like colors and forms that I'm like low on, I'm like, okay, I need to make berry balls, like whatever.
no. It was the color, the form, the illustration.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, you had the. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many variables there.
There's so many. That's why I'm like, keep it simple. This can be a 2-parter, huh?
No, it's gonna be a one-parter.
Oh,
It'll just be a one longer.
We
yeah.
don't two-parter them.
Probably should.
Well, you can probably cut out the stuff about the witch and the warlock. And,
No.
Okay.
That's in there.
That
It's
is,
not in there, or it is?
It will stay in there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, absolutely. That's like the goodies at the very beginning.
Oh.
Those are like the bloopers, but at the
Hey,
beginning.
Ryan, do you like John Wick?
Yeah, he's all right.
Oh, he doesn't.
Okay.
Okay.
My dad loves John Wick.
He does?
Yeah. What about it? Did you watch the newest one or something? Or
Watch John Wick 4. Heidi learned to never watch movies with me ever again.
Why?
Remember, you were like, you just told me what he was going to do, and I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah.
because you already saw the movie, or you were just
Oh,
She'd already seen the movie. I hadn't seen it, and I was like, oh, yeah, he didn't shoot the shot. He's going to kill him. Oh,
yeah, spoiler alert.
didn't shoot the shot and he killed him. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
That could really go anywhere
And I
in
like,
John Wick.
that's true. And I didn't see it coming, and Becca's all like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," and I was like, what? And then there's like, what was it, the preview at the end of the movie?
Oh, yeah. Like, you know how, like, Marvel movies have, at the very end, after all the credits, they have the little...
oh yeah, the I don't know what to call that.
Is it an Easter egg?
Yeah, a little
Kinda?
teaser. Yeah. It, like, always...
Credit scene.
It-
I would call it a
like-
post-credit scene or something.
It puts you in the mood for the next movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's another John Wick.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, he didn't... Oh.
Right.
Didn't die, I'm guessing, is what you're saying.
He can't die. I mean, he could have. I'm not telling.
It's like Mission Impossible or something. Like Cruise never dies. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
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 gotta keep the money flowing.
That's right.
Money, money, money! Money!
All right. So my takeaway is increase your prices.
Yes.
Maybe don't wait so long. You don't have to wait until the end of the year, it sounds like.
No.
And
You know, that's even what Ben Carter said. he was like, I priced my mugs so much, like in 2004, and I never raised my prices like throughout the years. And it's like, and I did that too.
Oh, years.
Yeah, you need to look at your pricing every year. It's not like, I know this sucks, but you don't just like look at it once and it's like, I'm good.
Yeah. And I don't think you have to feel guilty about like, oh, well, my supplies went up, but this form is simple. Like, I don't know. I feel like
Right. And like, people who work, I keep saying traditional jobs because one time someone told me I had a non-traditional job and I was like, okay. But, people who work traditional job get raises.
We should too.
We should too.
Inflation, baby.
Right. And like, you have to save for retirement and all that.
Or you have to have money to eat food.
Eat food, get your teeth fixed.
Rude.
do you have a visit to the dentist in the future, Becca, or what?
Yeah, I had like a really bad pain in my neck earlier this week, and we were trying to figure it out. We ruled out cancer, but I went to the doctor yesterday, and she was like, have you had any, we talked about a few things, but she's like, have you had any toothaches? And I was like, well, not really, but like I have really bad teeth, and I haven't been to the dentist.
You grinding your teeth?
No, I just have bad teeth. Like, I floss all the time. I brush every day. Like, I take care of my teeth, but my teeth, I never had braces, and food gets between my teeth a lot. And so I could floss 5 times a day and I'd still have food in there.
Right.
And
I wasn't trying to make like
no, it's okay.
Time.
No,
I don't want you to be in pain.
I have no soul. It's fine.
Yes, you do.
And so she was like, well, you might have had it might be an infected tooth that's causing the pain. So I'm on antibiotics. And she even said, like, the fucking doctor at the urgent care, by the way, this urgent care had a slushy machine and a Pac-Man machine.
What?
Yes.
Plain was not so plain.
Yeah, it was wild. Anyway, so the doctor was like, yeah, I saw a few cavities in there. And I'm like, that's fucking great. Like, when I go to the dentist, the reason I haven't been to the dentist in such a long time is because every time I think about it, I'm like, I'm going to have to pay like $2,000 because I know there's going to be like 12 cavities and they're going to have to take out like 3 teeth. And what?
I just had an idea for you. You should make teeth earrings as a fundraiser to go to the dentist.
To go to the dentist?
People love teeth.
I know. I probably should. I was thinking about it.
I don't love teeth, but I know people love teeth.
I was thinking about it, though. Like, I need to do something to, like, for a dentist fund because, like, when I say I haven't been to the dentist in a while, I haven't been to the dentist since I was probably my first year back from college. So that was 2009.
Oh, my gosh. I just went last Thursday.
Like, that's what happens when you're poor, man. You just don't go.
Right. I think you should.
How much is a cleaning? A cleaning can only cost, what's a cleaning cost? Like $100 if you pay out of pocket?
Yeah, but when you have bad teeth, the cleaning is just the first part.
Yeah, so like.
It gives you a level set of like what you're working with, right?
So have you ever had a cavity, Brian? Okay.
Yeah, I had to get a thing put in it.
What's
I've had
They drill it out and then they put the thing in there.
Oh.
When I was in high school, I had 7 cavities.
So I've never had a cavity, and the last
They're in the back.
when the last time I went to the dentist, they told me that part of the reason why is because my teeth are so. I don't know if there's any dentists out there or dental hygienists, you can tell me I'm full of it. But this is what the dentist said. He said my teeth are like so tightly tight together that like food can't get in them. And like Becca was saying, your teeth, you have gaps, and so like food gets in it, and then you're more prone to get a cavity.
Yeah.
Like it's not your fault.
Like, yeah, like when I floss my teeth, there's specifically one that if I floss it, it cuts the floss.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know. we're on to teeth.
Now we're on to teeth.
Did you have city water or well water growing up?
I think it was city.
Hmm. Okay. Well, let's shot that theory. I don't know. I have nothing else to say.
Anyway.
I mean, I can talk for hours about nothing, and I just feel like your poor listeners, your poor listeners.
Anyway,
Heidi.
That's why.
What?
They'll love this.
That's why I need a tooth fund. And my mom was like, Becca, just go to the fucking dentist.
You know how you...
Well, she didn't say fucking.
You know how you could probably raise money super fast?
A Lloyd t-shirt.
Lloyd merch!
Make little cat little Lloyd earrings or something.
You could probably, make...
I didn't do that.
Well, I sat here and watched you do it.
No, I didn't do that. The pencil didn't even... Oh, it did. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. But see, that's why, back to the whole pricing, like, you should be able to go to the dentist, right? Like, if you have a...
Yeah, you should be able to go to the dentist, just like you should be able to save for retirement.
Right.
Just like you should be able to go to the fucking doctor.
Right. Well, that urgent care wasn't too bad, was it?
No, the urgent care was less than a vet visit.
Right.
I just made this worse. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll always remember you.
I'm that friend.
Bubbles all over your keyboard, all over your screen.
All the bubbles
Pencil marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dentist.
Dentist.
We'll check in January about your wholesale line.
And the dentist.
Yeah, and the dentist. And Ryan's prices.
Yeah. Okay, so let's set the date. Let's end of January. January, like the last week of January, Heidi's having another
I wasn't trying to invite
interview.
myself back.
You're inviting yourself back.
Is this a Help Becca episode as well when she comes back?
This is going to be a check-in, and it's going to see if you raised your prices.
The thing is, I feel like some of these interviews, like the one with Andrew, was very similar, where we had this like moment of like going through stuff.
Well, that's good. If you decide to have me back, I'll come back. But if not,
Oh, we're having you back.
Oh, okay.
Heidi, you're one of her favorites.
Well, I feel like you should discuss this off air and then let me know. I don't want to put pressure on you. Okay, when do you want me back? Here's January.
We have ClayCon West in January, but we're good after that.
Oh, let's go February then.
It's just a random day that we can put.
February 7th.
Okay.
What'd you say?
February 7th. It's a Wednesday.
That's a
At
Wednesday.
7 p.m.
I see to do it 7. Oh, it's funny. It said 7 to 8. Haha, I should change it 7 to 10.
10.
Add it to the calendar.
Did it? Oh, I should add it to mine.
I just found out about something that date.
You have something on February 7th?
No, I know what it was. I think it's a Thursday. It's a Wednesday, Thursday. There's a have you ever went to the Moth events? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I've never been, but they sound like they'd be fun.
What?
It's like a storytelling event that they do. And it's like they have a podcast called The Moth. I think it's just called The Moth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
They're coming to Cincinnati that week, and I just shared it with Rachel that we were going to go to that, so we'll go probably on Thursday.
Fun.
Yeah. So
All right, so
that date sparked in my mind.
I wrote down what we're talking about even.
Ryan Price's Becca Wholesale.
All right.
Yep.
Do you know what I kind of want to do to cap this off at the end? I think that it would be fun, instead of working with the speckled clay for my earrings for the wholesale, to do like a gray clay.
Why do you want to add complexity of something that you're not sure of?
Okay. Anyway.
Wait, what made you think that?
Well, because the speckled clay doesn't like the underglaze.
Oh, okay.
It's because the speckled clay doesn't really like the underglazes. that I use.
We were
So-
finding out that the speed, because we both use Speedball, but on Becca's clay, when she uses the underglazes,
it
like,
flashes.
yeah, they're shiny.
They're shiny.
And on my clay, they're
They're not.
not. They're matte.
What is your clay?
Mine's Dark
Oh,
Star.
Heidi, what is your clay?
Laguna 608, which I think everyone calls the speckled buff. Isn't that
That's what I have. So it doesn't do that on yours because it's like a tan speck versus hers that's a white end speck.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wonder if yours is like a porcelaneous.
It is.
That's why it does it then.
Oh, because the porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not penetrating the clay as much.
No, I think
because
it's
the
what's in the clay.
Yeah, the clay flashes
Yeah.
instead of the.
Oh.
So I basically need to find a new clay for my earrings.
May I suggest Laguna speckled buff?
No, it's too groggy. I don't want speckles in the new line. I think I want them to be.
Oh, right. This is new. This is the 80s.
This is the 80s, and I was thinking like a gray with the bright colors would be fucking dope.
That would be. What was it called?
Cosmic something.
Oh, yes, Cosmic Jewels.
Cosmic Jewels.
You should call the studs like cosmic brownies or like cosmic brownies. I think. Like, did they look like little studs?
Yeah, that's.
You should take a cosmic brownie, take all the chips out, and stick your studs in there. And then
Yes. That no. That's what your earring card should look like. A brownie, and your earrings are the sprinkles. Sorry, I got really excited about that. Ryan, that was a great idea.
That was a great idea.
Do you have like you can make like little fudge rounds or something, or like little squiggles or something? I don't know.
Ryan, have you ever been to Michigan?
Yeah, I was just in Detroit a couple months back.
Did you drive there?
Yeah, I was with
grandpa?
my wife and my parents and my grandfather.
I don't know if you know this, but Heidi loves old people.
Wait, your mom was in Michigan too?
Yes,
I see.
I think you were 4 hours from Brighton. We have family in Brighton. I think you're like 4 hours from Detroit, right?
No.
I am 2.5 hours from Brighton. I used to have a store there. I mean, not like I had a store. They sold my stuff. I just wondered if you'd ever eaten fudge.
You have had fudge, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of fudge.
Oh, okay. Why are you laughing?
It's too like dense and rich for me.
It is very rich.
It is very rich. Anyway, Heidi would really like for your family to come up and visit to see the fall colors. She especially wants to see your grandpa and your mother.
How old is your grandpa?
I think he's 85.
He's the same age as
my dad.
her parents.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He doesn't hear so well.
Neither does mine, Dad.
Her dad
Oh, God.
made me a kamikaze today.
What is that?
All alcohol. 100% alcohol. It was, what is it? It's vodka and triple sec.
And Rose's lime juice.
And Rose's lime juice.
And limes.
And limes. And
All alcohol?
What?
Lime? You said lime juice, but
not that much lime juice.
Like a splash.
Oh. Okay, you made it sound like it was like a suicide, but for like alcohol, where it's like a Long Island iced tea, where you just throw a bunch of alcohols in there.
It basically is.
They probably should rename
I think kamikaze is pretty
it. Is that right?
accurate.
Okay.
So basically, her dad makes them so strong that like nobody can drink them.
Well.
Sounds like a zombie for a tiki drink.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't
But
drink
I had one at lunch today.
Yeah.
at lunch.
And then at 2:30, she was like, I'm gonna go. What did you say? I'm gonna go lay in the van.
Yeah, that's not going to be a productive afternoon if you're. We heard the last time Becca day drunk with some folks out in the studio parking lot with a guy that had a bottle of bourbon or whiskey. Or
Accidentally
something.
drunk.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that I threw up in a bucket and then went to sleep.
Yeah, you left that part out.
Yeah, I did.
my
It
God.
all hit at once. And then Matthew texted me like 2 hours later. He's like, dude, are you fucking drunk? I am wasted.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Funny. Oh, that, yeah.
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 All right. Thanks for joining us, Heidi.
Oh, yes, thank you.
It was fun.
Now time for my, I was like, it's not bedtime.
It's bedtime.
It's bedtime.
I gotta go find the cat, see if he's.
Is he outside?
Yeah, I let him outside because he hasn't been outside all day.
But oh, it's dark out.
It's fine.
Did you ever make the marble mugs?
I did, but it's one thing on a long list of lists.
Oh.
I made them, but I didn't market them. I don't know. For one, I'm like a little discouraged on like, are people actually going to buy them? And then I'm like, how do I market it where it's actually worth it? I don't know. It just seems like another problem that's not worth trying to solve right now, but maybe because I did it for fun anyways, and it was just kind of like getting to the point of making them, and then I'm like not feeling crazy about the selling part of it.
Oh.
But I did make them. But I feel like I'm gonna open myself up, and then people are gonna be like, "Can you do my cat on a mug now?"
Right.
And I'm gonna be like, "Fuck."
No, you're gonna be like, no.
I'm gonna be like, "You don't know what went into this, and I didn't illustrate it, and I didn't do the decal, and like, yeah." So that's my worry. Besides just having shelves filled with marble mugs. But
Well, you could do a pre-order.
I haven't. I mean, I already have a few made. Like, I could just put up, 6 of this one and 6 of that one.
That's true. I just want to see them.
Yeah.
Because
They
you
look
talked
good.
about them in the podcast, so
They look really good with the marbled clay, but I think the ones that are on white clay look better because it's the whole illustration with. I don't even think anybody's seen the illustration. Did I know? I think I posted on. Okay. Yeah, I think I posted on stories, but I didn't actually share the finished ones. But yeah. But nobody even like I take the marbled mugs to shows and nobody really resonates with the marbled mugs.
That's because nobody knows marble.
Yeah, nobody knows marble.
No, marble's not on the mugs. I'm saying the marbled mugs. So it's it's a speckled clay with the white swirls of clay in there with the white glaze on top. It's very subtle that it's marbled. And I don't know if it's the price point because it's like a standard size mug that's 42 versus like 36 for a speckled white one. That's the same size, but it's marbled, so it's like more money. But like nobody has bought a marbled mug. So I'm like, is there a want for the marbled mugs? Do they even notice that it's marbled?
Have you made a marbled mug video? Like how you do it?
No.
I feel like if you did a video, people would buy them.
Yeah, I think it would be its own like.
I just look at it and they're like, oh, that's kind of cool. But if they saw it, they'd be like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Having the video of like scraping the clay off with the rib and you see the marbling and then you're like, whoa. And then and then the video with marble in there, like playing with it or whatever. And then it's still, available now.
Right.
Yeah. I think I have that in mind of like what's needed. I just don't want to do that work to do that. But
are Marble and Lloyd this is my last question.
No. If anything,
they're like the biggest enemies.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
Marble's very defensive and stuff. I think Autumn would probably be okay.
Oh.
And Lloyd's super bad. So like Lloyd will look into the window and Marble looks out of the window and then Marble growls. And then the tails go up.
And then Lloyd will like jump up on the
Lloyd's really aggressive.
The ledge there, right in the windowsill.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So like if the window is pulled up and there's just a screen there, like it's bad news.
Oh no.
Yeah. The cats are not good together. Babs was fine. She was just what up?
Yeah, I feel like Babs and Autumn were the most reasonable pair.
Yeah.
But like Marble doesn't vibe with other cats that well.
Yeah.
Um,
And Lloyd is impossible with other cats, so.
mm.
Yep. No kittens for Lloyd.
No.
Maybe a puppy.
Wiener dog.
Yeah, wiener dog in many, many years. Not now.
More vet bills?
Yeah.
Why don't you take care of your teeth before you get another vet bill?
Yeah, that's why I said in many, many years.
Well, no, maybe not. With your new wholesale line taken off the way it's going to, next year is going to be the year of teeth and puppies.
Right. I don't want a puppy right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push her puppy on you.
She didn't say puppy. She said puppy. She said plural.
Oh, that's right. I did. Puppy.
I feel like Lloyd's enough of a toddler that I have to take care of him enough, you know?
Yeah.
Having a dog would just complicate things. I'd actually have to take the dog out, and I couldn't let him roam like Lloyd does.
No. Plus, you'd probably have to buy like a purebred because I don't know if you could adopt one in a van. Because if you adopt one, this is getting so off topic. But if you adopt a dog, don't you have to like have a fence? Like a
No.
electric fence?
Do you have
No.
to tell them some things about yourself and
Yeah.
your living situation?
Like in the form, like I thought you had to have like a fenced-in yard or something. Seriously. Have you adopted an animal from a rescue? Have
What if you lived
adopted
in an apartment?
We adopted our cat, but Autumn, but I don't remember like.
What if you lived in an apartment?
Well, the fence is the apartment walls, right? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I have an address. It's in Tennessee.
Does your friend have a fence?
No, but they have a really large yard.
I don't know.
I don't think the fence would be a eliminating factor.
That's what a friend told me. A friend told me like they weren't gonna adopt a dog from rescue because they had to have a fence, and I was like, oh.
That's fucking bullshit.
When we adopted Buck, they were like, "How long do you plan on keeping him?" And I was like,
Forever?
until he dies." Like,
Your cat.
No, but people are bad, and they'll like return dogs and stuff like that.
Right.
So
I thought that was so funny. How am I gonna keep him?
How long are you playing?
I remember when we adopted a
Vet
cat.
bills are too high. Like what? I don't
I
know.
know, so weird. I was like, what?
When my mom adopted a cat in like Boulder County when I was young, they had to call my dad to make sure that she was gonna take care of it.
They had to call our vet. We had to get a reference from our vet. The vet they called the vet, made sure it was good. They looked at our other cats' health records to make sure like we were good pet owners. Like, it's serious.
Yeah, that would fucking suck because I've only taken Lloyd to the vet once in his whole life.
It was only 5.
Yeah.
Right? What,
I mean, I guess twice.
You got him fixed.
I got him fixed, but I got him fixed at a rescue thing where they take him in a bus and they take him away and they come back in the bus.
Okay, do you know how many missed opportunities you have for illustrations of Lloyd? Like, seriously, you could have Lloyd in a bus.
Just Lloyd peeking out of the bus. Like,
Yes.
Have
Lloyd-
I ever told you
remember
about
Lloyd
my
lounging-
shower sweatshirt?
No, you
I
have not
haven't-
told me about your shower sweatshirt.
I have a sweatshirt that I got for Christmas and it's white, and so I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. So I got the puffy paint that you put on the shirts,
Yeah.
and this,
Sorry, Ryan.
this was when I was living in the studio, so I didn't have a shower, so I would have to go to the gym for the shower, which was across the street, and so I made a sweatshirt that had a shower head, and it had water shooting down, and then it was rainbow, and then I had a cat coming out of the pocket, little cat ears, and then it said, "I'm only here for the showers." I would wear to the gym.
Oh my God. Where's the sweatshirt now?
I have no idea.
No.
I don't think I got rid of it because I don't know if I could. It was really great.
I think you need like exclusive Lloyd earrings, like just white cat earrings. I don't know. I feel like there's enough Lloyd love out there.
There is, with the little pink.
It could help. I know it seems a little cringy to make pet earrings, but I don't know.
And we could say Lloyd. LA on one side,
Yeah.
Lloyd on the other side. Lloyd.
We weren't talking about you.
What did you say we weren't talking about you?
Yeah, this is Autumn.
Oh.
Autumn is
Hi, Autumn.
offended.
She's left out because we didn't do an illustration of her, so we need to figure that out.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
But she knows she's not the favorite from me.
You know what I should do?
She knows she's not the favorite.
On the shirt, I should have a picture of Lloyd when he's hanging down when I carry him.
Yes.
He's just
Yes.
like, like whenever I carry him under my arm, he looks like he's just giving up on life. He's just like, his legs go down and then his back legs just hang too. And so he's like,
I also think you should have an illustration of him headbutting you yesterday. Lloyd was not happy, and he boom.
he headbutted me and then he ran away.
Just like he headbutted you in the leg or something when you were standing, or
He headbutted me
No,
in my
in the
head.
He went boom. She picked him up to put him in my van.
And he threw his
And he
head
was
back
like,
and it
no.
hit my forehead.
oh, wow,
Yeah.
wow. All right, you should probably go.
That's
Yeah, we
fine.
probably should.
I need to go.
All
get
right, Heidi, the
Heidi.
obligatory. Tell us where to find you. All of that stuff.
I have a website. It is bellajoypottery.com, and you can find me on Instagram at bellajoypottery. At Bella Joy Pottery.
Do you get people that ask you questions about stuff like business stuff? Much?
Do people ask me questions?
Yeah, like business.
They're afraid
You
of me. What kind of business questions?
Like, do you get people that message you about business questions?
After podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. People usually ask me about slip casting or screen printing.
She charges $5 a minute.
Oh. I feel like asking questions about slip casting and screen printing are really hard to answer
Yeah.
because there's so many.
Ends.
There's so many variables.
But she's going to be doing a workshop with Beal Pottery coming up,
Oh,
so
I am. Yeah,
so keep a lookout for that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I am.
Workshop on.
Screen printing.
Screen printing. How to burn screens.
Okay.
How to burn your own screens.
Nice. I always thought that was like some magic or something, like people going into dark rooms to make image like photography and stuff. Like I just don't understand it. But
That's okay. You can learn how to do it. Beal Pottery.
Yep.
Coming up.
October 14th.
is that in person only?
It is. Well, that one is. Yeah, that one's only in person. But
You
I
know, you do work. Do you do online ones? Or have you?
I haven't, but I could. It would probably be easier online.
I feel like the pool of people is way bigger, right?
I will do one. I will
Alright.
do a wholesale one and a pricing one and screen printing. And then I'll do mold making.
It's going to be
There's
a
potential out there. Like I feel like the mold making, slip casting. I don't know many people that are doing that. I know Kurt has one, but I don't know that like
Right.
that are like I don't know easy to understand and like not. I don't know. I haven't really sought it out, but I feel like there's a lot of people that probably want to know about slip casting. And
I think so. That's one. People always ask about if I would teach screen printing and slip casting, which I should because I taught myself and that was really hard. So I feel like it would be good if someone.
Yeah, I feel like getting understanding slip and consistency and what works well and what doesn't work, like that part is probably there's a lot of variables there
Yeah.
that'll be aggravating.
Yeah. So,
All right, so we'll look out for that.
all right. Cool.
Goodbye.
Stop asking me questions, or this will be
Thank
4
you.
hours.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Whale Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.